Up here. Been a little while. I've taken a little break. I'm trying to catch up on life. I got doctor's appointments. I got car issues. I got this. I got that. I got taxes. I'm working on a lot of things right now. We went hard on a couple trials in a row. We were covering Afro Man, and then that was amazing when Afro Man came on our show with the number one song on Billboard 100. By the way, that was something I didn't expect. And then we covered Kelsey Fitzsimmons. And then I've kind of just been chilling because I've been trying to catch up with life. I'm almost there. This tax year is crazy for me because it was such an interesting year for me. A lot of cost, a lot of income, a lot of deductions, just a lot of work I have to do. I do my own taxes. I don't hire anyone. It's very complicated. But we're back tonight for one night only because I wanted to cover something that's kind of interesting. Essex County. There's a court case that just happened. A 40-year-old cold case murder. I remember when this happened way back in the day, in the 80s, I believe it was. I can remember this specifically. Um, this is the death of Claire Gravel. She was murdered. Her body was found off of 128, I believe it was. She was last seen at Major McLeish's in Salem. People probably know that spot, downtown Salem. It's now something else. I think it's the Babe or something like that. But you know that spot if you're from Salem, North Shore area. Um, and this gentleman was convicted 40 years later. It just recently happened. I'm just going to throw it up on the screen so people can see it. Let's just throw it up there. Salem State's killer convicted 40 years after her murder, prosecutor says. Not so fast, say my guest. We have a couple guests tonight that think that the wrong man is in jail for this murder. He was just recently convicted. Um, we're going to talk to two different people tonight that were here for this trial of John Kerry, 66 of Gloucester, who was just convicted recently of first-degree murder at Essex County Superior Court for the killing of Claire Gravel. The Essex County District Attorney's Office said in a press release, Kerry was indicted on the murder charge in 2022. This just happened. This was the trial right before Kelsey Fitzsimmons in Essex Superior Court with the same judge that Kelsey Fitzsimmons had. We've got a couple guests. We're going to talk about this tonight. I don't know. I don't know enough about this. I have been sent some documents. Looking at it, I definitely see why they have some questions. I mean, I don't know. Let's find out because, like I said, I'm not an expert. I just keep an open mind. We allow people to present their case, what they feel, especially they're kind of experts. They were there for this trial. They're watching it. I want to hear why they think this man is not guilty. Why they think John Kerry is in jail for a crime he didn't commit. And let's just bring him up and hear from them. First of all, we have Noelle, who reached out to me first and foremost. Hi, Noelle. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. Thank you for having us on tonight.
Thank you for being here. And we also have Richie. How you doing tonight, Richie?
Good, thank you. I echo Noel. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. You are both. I'm assuming like me. You're in Massachusetts. You're in the local
Mhm.
area.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. So, uh, I'm assuming are you North Shore people? Because that's a big thing on the show, North Shore. I always talk about the North Shore because I'm from the
Yeah,
North
I
Shore.
am.
You're a North Shore
Yeah.
guy. Awesome.
I
You
I actually live in Marlborough right now, but I have a house in Gloucester and I absolutely love it up there. So,
oh, awesome. I love Gloucester. I used to go there all the time as a kid. Good Harbor Beach and yeah,
mhm.
Wingonshire, all
Yeah,
that.
that's beautiful. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I used to deliver beer there too through college.
No.
A lot of the North Shore spots, but Gloucester was a big drinking town. You go to the Crow's Nest or whatever it was
Mhm.
at
Yeah.
10 a.m. and people getting off the boat and they're drinking. It's like
Yeah.
a pretty wild town. A lot of music there. I love like Gloucester. Uh, but tell us, why you came on this, why you're interested in this, and how do you want to open this? I'll go with Noel first because you're the one who reached out to me. I know this has a
Yeah.
personal there's a personal touch to this. Tell us, how do you want to
Yes.
discuss this tonight about John Kerry?
I'd like to talk a little bit more about what happened in 1986 and some of the information that the police came across at the time, particularly 2 cops that they did not they cleared without really deeply investigating them. And then I'd like to talk about how John got mixed up in all of this. And then we can maybe talk about what happened during the trial.
I'm glad you said the 2 cops, because that's one of the things that got me interested in this too, is
Yeah.
the 2 cops angles. Number one, the last person to see her who dropped her off was the Salem State Police cop,
Yeah.
which is weird. That's weird. And then later on, a different cop was spotted in his car at the scene where the body
Yeah.
was found, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
so both like, it's like, wow, this is weird. This is the
Yeah.
cop,
Well,
like, so that's what raised my suspicion right away when you started sending
Yeah,
me info
yeah.
on this, is that 2 cops
Actu-
are involved.
Actually, 3 cops, because the
3.
Salem State cop that dropped her off is a third one that I've never felt like he was involved. So I never really and I don't, but there was another cop, and he was a Salem cop. And he also hung out at Major McLeish's, and he was very aggressively trying to get Claire to go out with him. He was in his 30s, he was married. And she insisted that she was not, she would absolutely not go out with him. And it was to the point where if he came into Major McLeish's, she would leave. She'd get a friend and leave and come back later. And
Weird.
yeah, and some things that were not allowed to be presented at the trial is that, so the Salem cop was actually 5 years later, maybe, he was actually convicted of raping a minor. Yeah, and he was in prison.
Which
for
cop?
that.
Which
This was
cop was that could?
The Salem
The
cop
Salem
that was
cop.
trying, aggressively pursuing her.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the cop that was part near her. So yeah, and so a little more about that. So so she went to Major McLeish's Saturday night. She stayed till closing, left about 1:30 ish.
What year was this again? 1980.
1986.
86. Oh, okay.
86,
So
yeah.
that puts a number on it. People remember the 80s. 1986. Okay.
Yeah. So she knew the Salem State cop from hanging out at Major McLeish's, and they played on softball teams. And so he dropped her off right outside her. She lived in I think a multifamily. So he dropped her off right next to it about 1:30 Sunday morning. She was not seen again. She wasn't seen all day Sunday night. Monday morning around 7:30 or 8, some surveyors they drove up Route 28 in Beverly, just past. So I don't know if there's an access road. If you're driving up 128, there's that metal gate across it.
Yeah,
So
I know what you're talking about.
They saw a truck parked in that access road, backed into that access road as they drove up. They continued up the road a little ways. They stopped. They were doing whatever they were doing. They found a purse on the ground. And then later on, further in towards the woods, they saw her body. So that was Monday morning. And then, so they left to call the police. And then by that time, the truck that they saw parked on the access road was gone. And the police were looking for, it was like a silver Datsun or something. The police were looking for it. And the cop, the Beverly cop, Stapleton, because he was kind of the star of the trial. He went to his supervisor and said, that was my truck and I was there. And he said he went there to sleep. He pulled off the highway in the middle of the night on an access road, he says, to sleep. But the surveyor, who they flew up actually from the Dominican Republic to testify, he insists when they drove by that truck, there was nobody inside it.
Wow. Why did he need to sleep? It's funny because I remember coming back from a a house party in Gloucester at one point. I had to drive home the next morning, and I realized I was still hungover. And I pulled over, not there, but somewhere like that, just to
Yeah.
sleep. That's why, because I was like,
So
I could get in trouble. I'm still
yeah,
feeling it. You know what I mean? Like the
yeah,
next morning, it was like 7 in the morning. You're like, am I still? Um, so it's like, why did he say he needed to sleep? That's a weird place to sleep if you're a Beverly cop. It doesn't seem
yeah.
like he's too far from home, I'm guessing. Like, why does he need to
Well,
sleep there? I slept when I was living in Boston and I was visiting someone in Gloucester. You know what I mean? So that's why
right.
I
Yeah,
took the nap, and I had been drinking
yeah,
the night before. So
yeah,
like,
yeah.
why did he take a nap? Why did he take a
So
nap in his car? I just don't. I'm wondering on that.
so
What's
they
his
actually
excuse?
flew him up from out of state to testify to his whereabouts and explain this during the trial. And so he actually lived in Lynn at the time. And he said he got in a fight with his wife. So he left, went to some bars, had a few drinks, was driving to Beverly. The prosecutor asked him, "Why were you driving to Beverly?" He said he had no reason to. He stopped at, so there's that rest stop, where there's like the gas station, the Burger King.
Yep.
He stopped in
Yep.
there, bought something to drink, continued up the highway, and then when he reached the access road, according to him, he felt like he shouldn't be driving because he had had too much to drink and uh, backed in there to sleep. That's his story.
That's interesting. But the rest stop with like you
Yeah.
said, the Burger King. I think that's where I took the nap.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that would be a logical place, not off of the highway. But
Yeah. I mean, that is weird.
yeah, it's weird. And and well, and then it gets a little weirder. Okay, so he was off. So he's off Sunday night, off Monday. He says he went into work Monday evening. That was when he heard that the police were looking for this the silver truck that was found, near where they had found a body. So he went to his superior and he starts asking questions like, where was the body found? What does the truck look like? Like he's fishing for information. And he realizes it's his truck they're looking for. So at this point, he tells them that's his truck. And but he says it's fine. And he tells them the story about, I just pull over and I went to sleep. So apparently they went back in the middle of the night, according to the police report. So they went back to the spot where the access road is and checked it out. Never searched his truck. The next day, the lead detective of the Massachusetts State Police came in to talk with him. That conversation is not documented at all anywhere. And the police were then told he's been cleared, don't investigate him anymore.
Sounds sus. That sounds like cover up mode.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the fact that nothing recorded, but it was a long time ago. So
It was, but
that
they
is
have
weird.
they have reports of every other conversation they had. They talked to all her friends. They talked with the state police. The Salem state cop. I mean, they have all that documented, but they didn't. Whatever this conversation was that led them to say that he was cleared, it's not documented.
A lot of people say that sounds familiar, like Sherry in the chat. She said, no investigation? Sounds
Yeah,
familiar. It does,
yeah,
unfortunately, sound very familiar with a lot
yeah,
of like past and current things going on in Massachusetts. There's a lot of police cover ups. It's like every
yeah,
day
yeah,
there's new cops on trial. It's just, but this was 40 years ago. So
yeah.
go on. So tell us about going back to 1986. I know you want to start there.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So the other thing, the Salem cop, the one that was like kind of harassing her, they inquired about him, but they were told the Salem police said he was working that night, so they didn't pursue it any further. So and apparently he was working like multiple shifts over like a 3-day period, but they never really looked into where he was or what he was actually doing. So the most tragic part to me is that from the time she was dropped off near her house at 1:30 Sunday morning until Monday morning when her body was found, there is really absolutely nothing that says what happened to her during that time. And the thing is, they never searched the car of either cop. And I really feel like if they had searched either one of their vehicles, it's possible they may have found something. But there is truly no information about what happened to her during that, like, almost 24-hour period
Until they found her.
until they found her. Yeah, yeah,
Which was a day, was a 24, basically 24 hours later they found her.
yeah, yeah. A little bit more. Yeah. But what really stood out to me also during the trial was the police got, a couple of days after they found her body, the police got a tip that they thought they saw a young woman that looked like her back up near Major McLeish's around the common, that park, but looking to buy cocaine. And then she was this woman was spotted getting into a Trans Am and leaving. So they spent a lot of time talking to the witnesses that were there that night. They found the Trans Am, they found the owner, they brought the owner in, they talked to him. They did a thorough search. They brought in the forensics guy, and he talked in detail about how they thoroughly searched this Trans Am inside and outside. And then it had body work done around that same time. So they went to the body shop, looked for forensic evidence there. So they went through all of this for a car that she maybe got into, but yet they didn't do the same thing for the other the two cops that actually
for the two cop, one that had the car right next to where the body was found,
Yeah,
which is an
yeah.
unusual spot, and the other cop who actually gave her a ride back to her house
Yeah.
from Major McLeish's. He
and
was the last person to see her. That would
He
be the
was,
one
yeah.
you would most want to look at.
yeah, and the third cop, which was
third
the one
cop,
that
too.
was in my mind stalking her, kind of. I mean, harassing her. Yeah.
Did that third cop have any relationships with the Salem State cop or the other cop at all? Do any of these cops know each other, as far as you know?
Not as far as I know.
And,
But-
and were these people witnesses at this trial that recently happened?
So
These cops?
the Salem cop had died. So yes, the city cop, the city of Salem
cop.
he had died. The Salem State cop,
That was a stalker. That was a stalker one. He's
the
dead.
stalker.
Okay.
Yes, the stalker guy.
And
had
he's the
died.
one
Or
who
was
got
convicted of
arrested.
rape.
He was arrested for rape later, convicted.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
The Salem State cop, he did come in and testify about, driving her. And there were some things, I really don't think he was involved, but there were kind of some fishy things, like he was supposed to be at work at 11, but yet he was at Major McLeish's until 1. He didn't show up till 1:45. Then he went right away. He left right away and for a while and came back. And so there was still some kind of things that they
Fishiness.
really should have checked out.
That is weird. He's
Yeah.
supposed to work at 11 o'clock, but he's at last call at Major McLeish's.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't.
He never got questioned about that by the defense?
Not really. Not really. I think I think part of it is I really don't think he was involved. I don't think the defense really, John doesn't think he's involved. So I think they really didn't want to they didn't want to muddy the waters with it.
Yep.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you have to pick your battles.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other two cops were, so much stronger suspects.
Totally.
Yeah.
The Salem cop that was he's got a criminal record for crazy stuff, awful
Yeah.
stuff. And the other cop, the Beverly cop that was found near her. I mean, that is
Yeah. Yeah.
that is
Well-
very suspicious, both of them.
Well, and the Beverly cop also, he went to jail too for
He did.
identity. Yeah. For identity fraud, which the defense was not allowed to bring that up because it wasn't related. He had done some other stuff. I think he got relieved eventually because he pointed his pistol at someone and pulled the trigger. It wasn't loaded, but he pointed at another cop. He got mad at him and pulled his pistol and pulled the trigger. That wasn't allowed to be brought up. His ex-wife said that he was violent and had a very explosive temper and would sometimes choke her. So the defense was allowed to bring up the ex-wife, saying that he had an explosive temper, but he wasn't allowed to bring up that the cop would choke her when he got angry. So part of what, like, it really felt like during the trial was at one point, and there's things that led up to this, but at a certain point in time, it really felt like the judge was allowing the prosecution to do whatever they wanted and put a lot of restrictions on the defense, which made it really hard for him. And I think there were things that he tried to bring up and question that he was shut down a lot on.
This is the judge for Kelsey, right? Kelsey
Yes,
Fitzsimmons, the same judge.
The same judge. Yeah, and so in 2024. 2024, the judges in because it was originally assigned to Salem courthouse. The judges in Salem kept sending it to Lawrence, and then the prosecutors would bring it back to Salem, and then the next judge would send it to Lawrence and refuse to take it. So that's how it ended up getting with Karp. And he seemed really good at first. Like you could tell he was really trying to be very balanced and fair with everybody. But what happened was, and this is kind of part of, well, okay, so let me talk a little bit about John, how John got into this, because then it'll make more sense. So in the late 90s or so, he got divorced and kind of went this really difficult period. And he met some people and he got involved with the asphyxiation, when you're like having sex and you cut off the air supply. So he got involved in this, and he was doing this with a group of people. So there was a couple that he knew, the Diskins, and he played golf with Tim Diskin, and through Tim, he knew Tim's wife, Rosemary Diskin. And John's daughter would go to the Diskins, and they were separated at this time, but John's daughter would go to the Diskins' house after school every day, and then John would pick her up from there. So he knew both of them. And in 2007, he was over at their house, and he got mixed signals crossed from Rosemary Diskin, and he thought that she wanted to hook up with him. So the following week, he was out drinking. He got really, really drunk. Her husband called him to meet up. John thought that the husband was at the house, but he wasn't. So John shows up at their house, though they were actually separated at the time. But John shows up at the house. Rosemary Diskin is there. He kind of propositions her, I mean, this is what John is saying. Like he propositions her. She says, okay. He wants to do the choking thing. She's okay with that. He puts a tie around her neck, and they're, kind of trying to get it on. And her 12-year-old son walks in and disrupts them. And when he sees them, he runs out of the house. Then she runs out after her son. And then John runs out and leaves. And so Diskin insisted that John just showed up at her house, put this just randomly put this tie around her neck, and just tried to kill her. So that's her story. So then he got charged with and convicted of attempted murder because of this incident. So leading up to the trial, the prosecutor wanted to bring in Rosemary Diskin to testify about this incident. And the judge said, it's 20 years apart. It's too big of a time difference. It needs to be more related to back in 1986. So the prosecutor found this psychiatrist to come in and talk about this, basically like these sexual disorders where people get turned on by choking or hurting other people. So they brought her in to do they called a voir dire, to testify in front of the judge for him to allow, whether he'll allow it or not. And the thing is that John's never been diagnosed with this condition. Her whole point of coming in too was to say that this sexual disorder thing starts in puberty. So that was their way of connecting, what happened with Diskin to 1986, to make it closer in time, to say like, oh, well, this condition or this disorder starts in puberty, so therefore John must have been doing it in the 80s. Even though he'd never been diagnosed with this, the psychiatrist had never talked with him, never looked at his records, nothing. And there was nothing about the crime scene that indicated anything sexual related to the crime. So the judge really, like, he still really didn't see the relevance of it. And they had a hearing like in January, this past January. And the judge Karp spent like over an hour with the prosecutors trying to get them to make the connection between this sexual disorder and Diskin and the crime. And they couldn't connect the dots. And he started getting really frustrated with him and really seemed disinclined to allow this. And then all of a sudden, the Thursday before the trial started, all of a sudden they brought in the psychiatrist to testify about this disorder, and all of a sudden he allowed it. And then, you know, obviously the defense said this is really prejudicial, this is really hard to overcome, and the prosecution got up and they were, you know, they're both talking at the judge, and the judge kind of had like a little mini meltdown actually, and told them that they could go get another judge if they wanted. So that was how we went into the trial. And then from that point on, Karp seemed he seemed throughout the whole trial like he was under a lot of pressure. And I don't know where that was coming from, but it really felt like he was under a lot of pressure.
Are you from the DA's office, who is a former Salem police chief, Paul Tucker? You know,
that's what we think. You know, we can't prove it, but that's what we think. And that's what we think that, you know, because he really seemed, I mean, he was saying that he didn't think he was going to allow this very prejudicial testimony in. And then all of a sudden he does. And the prosecutors on the case was Kim Fatella, I think Jessica Strasnick, who just did the trial for Judy Church, was it? The one with her boyfriend and Jessica Antifreeze. And then they had another guy, O'Sullivan, who didn't do a whole lot. He was more like, he was really good about talking about case law, but he didn't really do anything during the trial. Yeah.
I mean, the big thing that came up, you know, that does seem weird about the psychiatrist allowing that in, all of that. But I mean, the thing that jumps out at me, that makes me more skeptical on this, I have to be frank, is the DNA stuff, and I don't understand it. So I'm wondering, how do they get the DNA? Okay. How does that come into play? Because that to me seems like the real piece of information that you know, really goes against John. Like everything else, what I'm hearing is very sus. It's very suspect, especially with these cops. But the DNA, tell us about that, because I think we should get to that. And then I want to introduce Richie too, because the audience is asking, why is Richie here too? We got to bring Richie in.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So basically, they swabbed I did leave out a really important part. Okay. So when her body was found, she was wearing a black tank top with a white sweatshirt over it. And then the black tank top was pulled up and twisted and then looped over her head. So the prosecutor's argument is that that's how she was strangled, was that they had looped it, pulled it over her head, and then pulled on it to choke her. So the prosecutor kept trying to say that John's DNA was in the spot right where the tank top was twisted. But the reality is, and this is what the prosecutor's DNA experts testified, is that they swabbed the entire body of the tank top. And this is where the mistrial comes in too, or the motion for mistrial. So the DNA people, they swabbed the whole body of the tank top, front and back, all around. And his DNA came up somewhere on the tank top. They can't say where it was on the tank top. They also acknowledge the fact that they can't prove when it got on the tank top, how it got on the tank top, how long it had been on the tank top. So, you know, there's a possibility. I mean, John acknowledges that he went out a lot during that time and met women and danced with women and interacted with them. You know, so he acknowledges the fact that his DNA could be, you know, anywhere really. But what really stands out to me is that they do these probabilities of they create a profile, and because it was 30-year-old DNA, they couldn't really get a good profile. And so they did talk about, they brought in this in 2019, they had a new computer system that would make I guess it would detect patterns in the DNA profile and like enhance it and stuff and give a stronger, I guess, a better profile or better result. But what was really odd to me was that Claire's DNA, so they found a profile and they said a male and female DNA. The female DNA was 3.8 times likely to be Claire's. And they included Claire only because they knew she was wearing the top. So that probability is basically saying, and I'm going to round it up to 4. That's basically saying for every 4 people you test DNA on, one of them is going to have this profile. So basically 25% of the entire population of the world could have this profile, right? So that's really broad. John's DNA came up to be, okay, so Claire was 3.8 times likely. John was 390 million times likely to be his DNA. So it was his DNA. But it doesn't sit right with me. Like, why was her probability so low? And they did talk about how the DNA was highly degraded and things like that. But then why is John's DNA, why did they get such a good profile from him on DNA that was 30 years old and highly degraded? And that's something that's no one's been able to adequately answer for me.
Was he already in jail for this previous incident?
Yes, he was. He was.
So his DNA would probably be somewhere in the system, I imagine, too.
Yeah. So what happened was, the incident with Rose Diskin was in 2007. So I think and he had the trial 2008, so he was incarcerated. So his DNA went into the system sometime around then. And what the defense says is that they had generated this profile from the tank top and had put it in the system, and he came up as a partial DNA match. So then they got another DNA sample from him, but they wanted to wait until 2019 until they had this new system online that was like somehow could, enhance older DNA samples.
Question for you, and you don't have to answer any of these questions, especially the personal stuff, but I'm just going to ask because the audience asked, and I was thinking of how to ask this myself and didn't know if I should, but since Sherry's asking it, Noelle, what is your relationship to this case? How did you get involved? How? And if you don't want to say, you don't have to.
No, I don't mind. I have nothing to hide. So basically, I started volunteering at the Concord prison, and John was one of the inmates that came to my program, and I got to know him there along with other inmates. And he was always just very insightful, participated a lot. I just thought really highly of him at the time. And then the program I was doing, it got canceled. So I stopped volunteering, and I kept in touch with all the inmates, all of them that were coming regularly. I kept in touch with them, wrote with them, started writing with John. We wrote back and forth for a while and just, we became really good friends. So I've known him for about 20 years. And I've always looked up to him and been a very, big advocate of him. And so I knew, like, when they started when he came up as the partial DNA match, so I knew that they were and actually they came and talked to me as well, because I would go in there and visit him regularly. And then basically what happened was when he got indicted, I think both of us realized that we were very important to each other. So we got more serious towards each other. But, up to that point, we were good friends and kind of open to whatever else might come. And I think because I knew John, and when he was being investigated for this, it's not John. Like, it's just, if you know him, you would just know he is not a person that goes and kills someone. And Richie's known him longer, so Richie can talk a lot about who John is and what John's like. And I just, like, I just knew immediately that this wasn't him. Even long before I even knew anything about the case, I just knew it wasn't him.
Richie, what do you want to say? Because you've known John longer.
Yeah, I met John in the late 80s up at Sugarloaf, Maine in a pro-am golf tournament. We were both low handicap players that the tournament allowed amateurs to play with pros. And we hit it off. We were competitors. John was a club champion at Bass Rocks, and I happened to be at Salem. So we would play in mutual events together and just always hit it off. Golf is a game that you police yourself. If you make an infraction, you call yourself on it. And John was always straight by the book when it came to golf. I represent, I would say, a lot of other golfers that have played with John throughout the years, and they would all say the very, very same thing.
Follows the rules. He's a gentleman. I mean, it's a gentleman.
Well, that's what golf is supposed to be all about.
All right. Sportsmanship, and yeah.
If you make an infraction, you call it on yourself.
Yeah, where a lot of other sports, people are arguing with the refs.
Yeah.
That was me when I was in probably not a good sport back when I was a kid. So you've known him a long time. You went to, I'm guessing you went to some of the trial as well, Richie?
I did. I've written to John. I've sent him a lot of photographs. I went to his first trial in Newburyport, and I was appalled at the way he was being represented, especially the last day, where the prosecution showed images of the asphyxiation kind of thing and presented it to the jurors right before they were released for the weekend, as though these people had just been murdered. I'm an event videographer. I know as soon as the film stopped, the actor and actress got off and they just laughed. Oh, we did a great job there. That was pretty funny. But it was presented to the jurors as though this was really happening. And that's what was some of the things that was on John's laptop. And they were allowed to bring it in.
It seems like on both trials they got stuff in that shouldn't have been in.
Yeah.
I was my good friend Andy Campbell, who's also a great friend of John's. We were appalled on the way home. That's all we could talk about. That was the last thing that the jury was shown, as though it was true murders, and it was just buffoonery.
And the same thing happened in the closing arguments of this trial too.
Absolutely. As the last thing, so here's a big screen TV and there's the poor girl's body that must have been up there for 15 straight minutes. Is the juror, they turn and they walk out, and that's the last thing that they see. So John's attorney, Mark, jumps up and says to the judge, "What are you doing? Well, how can you possibly allow this kind of, whatever the word is?" And the judge says the equivalent, "Oh, I'll go talk to him and say, you've got to strike what you just heard or what you just saw." It's too late. They've already seen it. They've already heard it.
But that's rough.
Yeah. And
Cause for the mistrial.
Yeah. Can I actually, I don't want to cut you off. Do you have any more you want to say, Richie?
No, that's it.
All right. Because I do want to say what happened during the closing argument. So, like I said earlier, the big missing piece was that they never could connect John to her, Claire, when she was killed, because they don't know anything about, there's no evidence about what happened to her when she was killed. So that was for me, the big glaring missing piece was, they never could put John, ever alone with her. She didn't go anywhere with him, So the prosecutor basically made up a story. So she insisted that John was guilty. John was guilty. John killed her. And she said, "I don't know how, but here's a possibility." And she told this elaborate story, yeah, with the screen, a picture on the screen of her body in the background. Elaborate story about how Claire got in John's car. They drove off together. They pulled over on the side of the road so she could go to the bathroom. And then when she went behind the tree, he attacked her, and in detail about how he strangled her and beat her and killed her. And yeah, and the judges kept letting her go on. And there's no evidence that even suggests any of this. And so the defense said, objection. And the CARP said, oh, we'll let her finish and we'll talk about it when she's finished. And then, so she finished, and then Mark requested, he made an oral motion for a mistrial, and the judge denied it. And the other thing that the prosecutor was saying too, again, was she kept going back to John's DNA was on this one spot where the shirt was twisted. They kept insisting on that, even though the DNA people testified that his DNA could be anywhere on the top. So Mark's defense started going through the exhibits for the that were going to the jury, because he wanted to see, okay, like what did the DNA experts testify to? And that was when he found a photograph of the front and the back of the tank top with notes on it that had been altered. So
say that again. So what had been on the shirt?
Okay. So there was a photograph of the front and the back of the tank top.
Oh, is this what we have? I think we have.
Yeah.
I can bring that
Yeah.
up on the screen.
Do you want me to show it? Okay.
I'm gonna, before you say that, I just want a couple people coming in late. One of them's Nick Rocco, who is a big time supporter of Karen Read, asking some questions. This conviction happened recently. I know some people are getting confused by the two trials. He had been convicted of something else in the past. We talked about that, and it seems like there was some shenanigans on that one too. But basically, this is a 40-year-old cold case in Essex Superior Court where he was found guilty after 40 years. They found this guy. His name is John Carey, and the woman's name is Claire Gravel. And it happened in Salem, Mass. 40 years ago, 1986. This is a murder case, and John was just recently convicted by the same judge that Kelsey Fitzsimmons had. It was right before Kelsey Fitzsimmons. The previous trial, right before Kelsey, they convicted John. So that's what's going on here for people who are just coming in late. Go ahead and tell us about what you were talking about, Noelle, there, about the shirt and the DNA.
All right. I'm going to try and scroll a little bit. Is this... okay. Can you see that? Okay. So this is the original picture. Front and back of the tank top with the notes of the woman that did the swabbing. And it says on there right below the picture, it says swabbing from the body of the tank top. And then right underneath that, it says front and back. So basically what happened was, I'm going to scroll up a little bit. Right above it, I don't know if you can see it, but it says swabbing for, and then it says handler DNA. So the defense didn't want the word handler on it because he felt it would be misleading, because as had been established during the trial is that DNA can get transferred. Like you don't actually have to touch something or handle it in order to get your DNA on it. It can be transferred from one item to another. So he wanted the word handler removed, which the prosecutor agreed to. But then this is what they submitted to the jury. And again, I can try and zoom in. So handler was removed, but what was also removed down here is the words front and back. And let me see if I can zoom in some. So you can see right underneath where it says body of tank top, it used to say right below it, it used to say front and back, but that was removed. So the prosecutor came back trying to say, oh, I'm sorry, it got cut off at the bottom. But I did a very close analysis of this, and the words front and back are so close to the words from the body, like they're almost touching. So if it had just been a matter of the bottom of the picture getting cut off, then I think you would still see part of the words there. You would have seen that there was something there, but as you can see, there's absolutely nothing there. So it looks to me, it's clear that it was removed, and that's what the defense believes as well.
Why do you think they removed that?
Because they really needed, their whole premise was that John's DNA was on the part of the tank, the front, that was twisted. That that they kept saying his DNA is on the murder weapon. The murder weapon was her tank top that was twisted and pulled over her head. So they really needed his DNA to be on the front where it was bunched up. So by saying it could be on the front or back, that makes it harder for the prosecutor to prove their case that his DNA is on the murder weapon. So the defense,
it looks whited out. Like that was one of my moms said that, Sarah, like white out. It looks like white out.
Yeah, it looks like that to me. Actually, it looks like it was whited out. It doesn't look like it just got cut off. So the defense filed a motion for mistrial for both the comments during closing arguments and for the altering of evidence. And on Friday, it got denied.
Did they say why?
Because the prosecutor said it was an accident. That was his reasoning. She didn't mean it, so it's okay. However, from what the defense has told me and what I've seen, altered evidence, the judge has to do something. He can't just ignore it and let it go. And in this case, because the trial was already over, he had to declare a mistrial. So the fact that he didn't is a problem. And this will almost certainly get turned over on appeal. It's an automatic reversal when evidence is altered. So, which then, just makes me feel like, what is all this for? Like, yeah, they got their conviction, but it's not a conviction that's going to stand.
Was the family of Claire Gravel, for people, I know some people still coming in the chat late. We also pinned an article from Boston.com about the trial, the conviction. So if you want more information, you can click on that link that's pinned in the YouTube chat as well. But yeah, I mean, this is 40 years later. Is the family there? Like, I'm wondering.
Yes.
Did the family show
up?
The
family was there every day. They brought her 90-year-old father, in a wheelchair in.
Wow. I mean, they must be happy. I mean, they waited 40 years for this.
Probably. I really felt like the whole thing was kind of a performance for the father so that he could see something done, after all this time. Because he said he's very elderly. So it just kind of felt like they wanted to, give him some resolution.
It's tough. So like right now, where does it stand? I mean, it's going to be appealed at the SJC, I'm guessing. Like, what is that? Are they working on that? Yeah.
Yeah, well, we just got the denial for the mistrial on Friday. So that, so his sentencing hearing is actually tomorrow at 10 a.m. And then once he's sentenced, then I think we can move forward with the appeal.
Is that in Lawrence as well?
Yes. Yeah, it's in Lawrence. It'll be with Clark. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, this is interesting. 40 years ago this happened, and now they're putting someone in jail, and I don't know. It's the DNA is weird. They find the DNA 40 years later.
Yeah.
I think that's what convicted him more than anything, I think, right? With the jury. I mean, I think that's what the jury was counting on, that but like you said, that can be iffy too. Like,
yeah.
Just because there's DNA doesn't mean they did it. Like, you never, especially in this case, like, I think DNA works when you already suspect that person, maybe, or you can place that person there, or they were a friend of the person. You know what I mean? It's like he had really no connection to her. Otherwise, Like, where was he that night in 1986 when this happened? Does John Kerry know where he was in 1986?
So
Did that come up in the trial?
yes, and he thinks he was there, but I'm not 100% certain that he was there. I don't, like, how do you know? Like, so the police came to him. I think they interviewed him in 2013, whatever, and they asked him if he knew this young woman. Showed the picture. He didn't remember her. They said his DNA was on her clothes. So now spends years trying to figure out why his DNA is on the clothes of this young woman that he doesn't know. So he came to the conclusion years later that he had met her, and it's possible because he said that he did go around to a lot of bars all the time, and he met women and he danced with women, so it's possible. And it's possible he could have been there that night, but he also could have been there the week before, And it's so long ago, like it's really hard to know, and two, like how do you prove where you were in 40 years ago? Sorry, I'm not hearing you.
Thank you. I muted myself. I do
Oh,
that
okay.
sometimes. It's got a running joke over here. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Sarah. Sarah's my moderator. She's trying to get me on a no mute schedule. I just broke it again. Sorry in the chat, Sarah. But yeah, there's no digital evidence from 40 years ago. How do you prove it?
Yeah.
There's no video. I mean, I
Yeah.
wouldn't remember where I was in 1986.
Yeah.
But obviously he had been at Major McLeish's in the past. He is that kind of
He
confirmed?
actually no.
Oh, he doesn't
He
remember going there.
so he remembers that he went there
Okay.
a few times, but he wasn't a regular. So, and actually Richie can probably attest to this more. Major McLeish's was a hangout of college students, and they all hung out all the time, and they all knew each other. So he thinks that he may have gone there a few times, but no one can confirm it because he wasn't a regular, so he didn't really know anybody there.
College kid who knew the college kids would remember him if he was a college kid, right? You know what I mean?
Right. And
yeah.
And if he went there frequently, even if they didn't know him well, they could have said like, "Oh yeah, this guy was here that comes in once in a while." But I mean, they didn't know. They don't have anything that puts him there except for him acknowledging. He wrote a letter to his coach sometime like in 2021 saying that he believes that he was there and he met her that night. But again, I don't know how you can know that for sure.
Ask Mary, this is live. You're watching live on Facebook. Thank you for watching on Facebook. We got a lot of YouTubers, but we also got people watching on Facebook. Thank you for watching tonight, Mary. Yeah, so this is an interesting cold case that was allegedly solved 40 years later, where John Kerry has now been convicted. You don't believe that. Neither one of you believe that he did this. And not only that, Noel, you like it's not even about belief. You just say he didn't do it, right?
He didn't do it. Yes.
And you feel the same way, Richie?
I certainly do.
And I can say that for two reasons. And the first one is, and I don't know what an empath is, but I'm an empath, which is, you know what that is? Okay. So I see through people. So like if people present something false to me, I know immediately that it's false. And I have never gotten that from John. When he told me the police came in to talk to him about that, and then other times that we've talked about it, I have never once got any sense that he was hiding anything at all. So that's one thing. And then two, when you look at the evidence, when you take away the prejudicial stuff, and when you can really look at the DNA evidence honestly, and you understand that DNA can be transferred or it could be on something for an extended period of time, there's nothing that says who she was with when she was killed. I mean, so the evidence is just not there. And honestly, to be honest, I was not expecting a guilty conviction. I still don't I don't get it. My worst
The
case
jury.
scenario.
It was a jury that decided it, right?
It was a jury, yeah, but I just can't. I mean, I can't see how not even one person could see through all the smoke and mirrors of the prosecution. But like you said, maybe people, they hang on to the DNA. You've got the
That's what
prosecutor.
it is. I think that's it.
Yeah, and the
And
prosecutor.
I also think what you said, the prejudicial stuff. You think,
Yeah.
well, this guy strangled before. He's
Yeah.
probably not knowing any of the details of what might have happened in that first situation.
Right.
I mean, that too, like, it's even for me, it's hard to get over. Like, I'm not saying I think he did it. I have no
Yeah.
idea. Like, on a lot of these cases, people always ask me, like, you need to pick one side or the other, and it's like, I don't know. I'm just letting people have a platform and kind of like let the truth be told. Let people tell what they think, what they know, and we'll maybe figure it out. And like, because I don't know. Like, this is a tough one. But it seems, like you said, it seems very prejudicial. It also seems very thin. It's 40 years later, like 40 years later. And it seems like this judge did let a lot of stuff in that he shouldn't have. That just kind of tainted the jury. And I think the juries they always think that the police are right, that the DA's right. I think there's just that kind of,
Yeah,
if you have any skepticism, like I recently, they called me for jury duty, that court. And they kicked me out of there real quick, because I'm too skeptical. Skeptical. They knew it. They were like, "Oh, you're involved in Karen Reed shit? Get out of here!" Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're like, we don't want you here. And then it's funny because I was while I was there in the jury pool that day, this other guy, I'll say, I'm just going to use his first name. I hope he's all right with it. He actually watches my show. His name's Nick, and he's a retired Mass State Police. And he says, "Are you Mike Crawford from the Young Jerks?" I said, "Yeah, who are you?" He's like, "I'm retired Mass State Police, bro. I like what you do. I'm watching." And we were laughing our asses off the whole day because we're sitting there. We're like, who's going to get kicked off first? Which one of us is not?
Yeah.
And he like 10 minutes after I got booted, like we exchanged numbers and stuff. 10 minutes after I got booted out, he's like, "Yeah, they sent me packing too." The judge was like, "You're retired Mass State Police. Get out of here. You can't be on the jury." But it's funny because I think that's what they're looking for, people who are just not going to question things. I think a lot of times with the jury, and that's a tough spot to be. I mean, we saw this with the Karen Reed trial. I thought that she should have been found not guilty the first trial, and then you hear from some of these jurors and you realize, wow, they're not, even though they're supposedly intelligent people, they're not the sharpest knife a lot of times. Sometimes wisdom isn't book smarts, you know what I mean? Street smarts is different. And it's just, sometimes they just they're not skeptical at anything. They think everything's like, just the government told me that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in the chat are saying he did not do this. You got Mona here saying he did not do this. It's interesting. And I saw Pick Handle here earlier. Pick Handle. I know you were interested in Karina Homer. I'm interested in that. I got a story for you. Actually, we should probably talk about that off the books. But I was at the hospital at Beth Israel for one of my wrestlers, my high school wrestlers. He ran over his foot with a lawnmower, and he was looking out his window at like that, in the high rise and the what do you call that? The hospital suite. And he's like, "Coach, you wouldn't believe what they found over here." And that was when they found her. Like, he was watching them basically, do the whole crime scene there while he's in the hospital with a foot, chopped off his foot with a lawnmower type situation. But I'll never forget that. But the thing for me on this Pick Handle is I need a guest. I need someone who wants to, that's an expert, that wants to talk about it, like Noel and Richie here. It's really helpful, and that's the thing. Like, I don't feel comfortable kind of just diving in and investigating something like that unless I have someone that's an expert that really wants to talk about it. And that's why we're so lucky to have Noel here tonight and Richie to talk about this. For people who are watching at home, what do you think your big kind of selling point to get people interested in how can they help if they want to help on this.
Hmm.
Are you still there, Noel? Did we lose you?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were asking for people to give comments.
Oh,
sorry,
yeah,
yes.
no. I'm
Yeah.
asking for
Oh,
you. Yeah.
you
Maybe
know
I was
what?
to clear it up.
Get people to watch this. I mean, we really want to inform people, as many people as possible. So just, I mean, spread the word, have everybody, watch this, our discussion tonight. Just get the word out. I think that, because the thing is that, yes, what happened to John is horrible, but like everyone has seen, like his is the worst situation I've ever seen in terms of corruption, but he's also not the only one. And, I said to John the other night, I said, for every Karen Reed, John Kerry, whatever, Kelsey Fitzsimmons, for every one of them, there are hundreds of others out there that have also been wrongly charged, wrongly convicted. Their lives are upended. And this is a regular thing in Essex. It really is. So I think the more we get the word out and the more awareness we can bring to, well, it's going to help a lot of people.
I'll add that if I may, I sent Noel an article that was in the Globe a couple of days ago about a poor fellow who was incarcerated wrongly for 19 years, and he just was awarded $12 million. So that's what I'm hoping.
We've gone through some of the, I don't know if you know Rosemary Scott Piccio. Are you familiar with her?
Yeah.
She was in that. Yeah, she's a great defense attorney. She represented Sean Ellis, who went through 4 trials. They did a Netflix documentary on it called Trial 4, and it was about a cop that got murdered. The cop was corrupt, and basically the other corrupt cops suspected somebody that they ripped off did it, and they knew that it would be exposed. So they pinned it on a patsy, basically, to take the heat off of their corruption, because they were corrupt with this cop that got killed. And she ended up freeing him at the end. But she's been covering some other people that she thinks are innocent, trying to free them. And she had a list.
Oh, really?
A list. And it was like 10 names, 10, 15. It might have even been more. It's on our Twitter. And we did a show on it. And it was just one after another. And it was things like you said, like, evidence issues, withholding evidence, withholding witness statements. What was happening over and over, this was actually Suffolk County, and over again, and this is the latest case she's got right now, is where she's trying to free this guy that had been convicted of killing 4 of his friends, and it was the chief witness that did it. It was the other guy who did it. And basically, if you look at this case, right, like, and look at what's going on with these cops in Suffolk County, especially, and this DA's office during this time, is over and over again. And in that case too, they were paying people to testify, and then not disclosing it to the defense. So there's so much shit that goes on like this, and people are. I've known this for a long time, that innocent people do get convicted and go to jail. But I think a lot of eyes have been opened up the last couple of years for some people here.
Yes.
They're realizing it happens. And I'm not saying it happens every time, but there's a percentage. I don't know if it's 10%, 20%, 30%. There's a percentage. Some people say it's half. Like I have a lot of ex-convicts that come on the show, or ex-guys that have been in the business, the life. And when they go in the penitentiary, they say everyone says they're guilty, but you know what? About half of them are like that. And that's what, you see a lot, is that a lot of people, and sometimes, like, one of my friends, like, he's got a show, JFK Show Off, and off the record, he's told me some stuff about him with criminal stuff, and he did some stuff when he was a kid, but then he was convicted of stuff he didn't do, and that's sometimes when you get in the system, they're just looking to finger somebody. And if you're already in the system, you're one of the suspects, and they don't care at that point, because they're like, we don't even care if he did it. He's a bad person. He already did that other shit, so let's pin this on him. We don't even care. If he didn't do it, you know what? It cleans our books, and it gets another criminal off the street. Who cares if he did it? That's the way they act. So, it happens a lot, actually.
And I think...
So,
And I think juries too. Like I think that in John's case too, they said, "Oh, well, he strangled this person, so he must have strangled this other person." Whether there's like actual evidence that supports it. But regarding innocent
I want to
people,
answer Teresa too. Teresa, Rosemary wasn't on the show. We covered some of her tweets and her most recent case. We never had her on the show though. Go ahead. Sorry, Noelle.
But, she's on Netflix. At least used to be the Trial 4 on Netflix.
Yeah. Awesome.
When it came out, I started to watch it, but John had just gotten indicted and it was too close to home, so I couldn't watch it. But I want to watch it now.
Definitely.
But I was also going to say, I know 2 other people that have been in prison for decades that are innocent, and they've been trying to get out. So one of them actually is just granted a clemency hearing. And the other one actually falls into, because they changed the laws so that anybody under 21 and under is now eligible for parole. So he was 19. The second guy was 19 at the time. So he had his hearing. He's waiting for the. But yeah, there's a lot of people in prison that didn't do what they are convicted of.
There's a guy, I have a journalist on the show a lot, Andrew Quimere, who covers a lot of the Innocent Project cases.
Mhm.
There's a
Yeah.
guy, there's a guy who just recently got released for the rooming house fire in Beverly. I don't know if you know about that one. He didn't do it.
Was that
He
the one where it
definitely
was like
didn't
an accident? Like it was not an actual crime. It was actually like an accident or something. I mean, it was something like, not a person didn't cause it. It was caused by something else.
That's what they think, but it
Yeah.
might have. They really don't know.
Hmm.
But the person they said that did it didn't do it, and
Mhm.
he's been released, or he's about to be released. He, basically they threw the case out. I think they're going to try to retrial him, but they can't, so it's
Oh.
like, it was a big fire in Beverly back in the day. And
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
James Carver, I believe his name is. And yeah, it happens quite a bit, actually. People, yeah, downtown Beverly.
And
Yeah,
it's
so
so,
I
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say it's so. Oh, I was just gonna say it's so disruptive. So even like in Kelsey Fitzsimmons' case, she got acquitted, but she had to sell her house to pay for the legal fees, and she was separated from her son. So it really upends people's lives.
I can't even imagine how much.
Yeah.
I've been talking about this on the show a little bit. I got sued recently for defamation. It was ridiculous. It was
I read
so
about that. Yeah.
ridiculous. It cost me, I'm going through my taxes right now. For 2025, 26,000 was spent on that defamation case. 20,000 came from my audience, thank God. I spent 6,000, but that wasn't the end of it. That was 2025. 2026, this year, I'm still paying for it. I spent another $6,000,
Wow.
so I paid like 12. My audience paid 20, and that was just one hearing. We got to one. They dismissed it, thank God. But I mean, my lawyer had to research it. He had to show up. He had to write the whole, it's unbelievable how expensive it is. And that is not a murder trial. And that didn't go to trial. Like, it cost me that much just for one hearing, for a judge to hear it and then say, yeah, this is BS, dismissed. Like, I can imagine if I'd gone to trial on that one. It's just like, it's the cost today is out of control. The inflation is out of control across the board and everything. But lawyer inflation is just, especially in Massachusetts, the cost is crazy now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I think, thank God people do kick in. I'm glad people supported Kelsey. Is there any fun like that? Is there anything people can do like that for John if they want to help John on this?
Oh, we don't have anything set up, but if you could direct me on how to do that, yeah, if people wanted to contribute.
I think it's the problem you're going to have.
Because we still have the appeal process, and
yeah. The problem on that is because I got, like I said, I mentioned my buddy JFK show off. He's got a show. He's been trying to help Eddie O'Brien, and they did he's someone in jail that's probably innocent as well. They believe he's innocent. And they did a give, send, go, one of those fundraisers like I did for my defense. But like they got kicked off the platform. Like as soon as you're convicted of like a major crime like that, they don't want to let you fundraise. So that would be the problem on that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd have to be something direct. Have to be through like a bank account or something, I think, because
Yeah. Okay.
the
All right.
fundraisers are worried about like those rules where you can't profit off your crime. I don't know. It's weird, but there's
Oh,
got to be a
yeah. Okay,
way.
that makes sense.
There's got to be a way
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Maybe we can find out what Eddie O'Brien's going to be doing because I think they might be doing some
Yeah.
fundraising.
Yeah.
He's got some support. Sometimes like T-shirt
And who is
fundraisers or
this?
something like that. Yeah.
I,
What is
I've
it?
got to hit the
Yeah.
road, Mike.
Oh, you got to hit the road, Richie.
But
Oh, okay.
do you-
All right. Yes.
I like to leave the term reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, if this doesn't qualify for that, I don't know what does.
Yeah.
Does this month bother you because you feel like he's innocent and you feel like he couldn't hurt a fly?
He admitted to his activity with Rose, but this is something totally different. I've known John for 40 years, and not once, to echo Noel's
He
sentiment,
did actually.
did I ever feel that he was hiding something, or not once.
Oh, thank you for being here tonight, Richie. I appreciate you being here. It's good to hear from people who know the subject we're talking about tonight. So thank
Right.
you so much, and maybe I'll see you kicking around the North Shore.
Okay.
Do you hit the roast beef spots?
Oh, yeah.
We hit my family's seafood restaurant, Doobies.
No way!
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my
I'm gonna
God,
plug in
that's your place. Are you there a lot?
every Saturday.
Oh, I gotta stop by now because you know what?
Every Saturday
and my-
for life.
Yeah, me and my girl have been talking about going there for so. She's been there. I haven't, but now I have to go.
Very good.
I'll be there.
Well,
Thank
we-
you so much.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it, Richie. Thank you so much for being here. And I heard Doobies is great. Everyone loves it, and thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Richie.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have a good night. That was good. It's like a neighbor to me now. It's like you got a new friend.
I know. Well, yeah. A new connection.
Yeah. I love seafood too. That's the thing. Like it's funny he said that because I'm like so long I've been saying we're gonna go there. We're gonna go there. She keeps trying to hold me to it.
Right.
we that's the thing. We love all the seafood places. We go to all of them. That's the one I
Yeah,
haven't
well,
been to, and I've
I'm
heard
a
it's really
su-
good.
I am a super picky seafood eater, and one of the very few places I will eat seafood is on the North Shore. It's always good.
Yeah. Always. There's a lot of places to go to. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like where are
Yeah.
we going now? That's my like one luxury in life. My one thing I splurge on is just I eat what I want when I want to eat. You know, we go wherever. And
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and they're all making fun of me about my chuckle. Sarah's laughing at my chuckle tonight. What? Yeah, we got a comment here from Sherry. Said Noel, speak to John's attorney about Give Send Go. That might be an idea, or GoFundMe.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what the rules are on that. So you definitely want to look at the fine
Okay.
print before you set something up, because the worst thing is if you set it up and people start giving, and then they kick you out of
Yeah.
it, and then the money gets refunded. It kind of deflates you. So
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
be
Okay.
careful
Well,
on that.
yeah. All right. I'll check into that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you said you like my giggle. Okay. Yo, wait, am I picking on you now? No, I would never pick. That's my best mod. She's the only one that stuck with me through turbulent times. Let's put it that way. Thank you, Sarah. I'd never pick on you. Um, yeah, you better not quit. Don't quit tonight. I need you here tonight, Sarah, to stop it. I'm getting in trouble. Somebody said, "Who is John's attorney?" Liz Swift wants to know who is John's attorney.
John's attorney is Mark Booker from Fall River, and I will give a little plug for him because he is fabulous. He is a hard worker. He is dogged. He is determined, and he is not giving up on this. So he is like, I would definitely recommend him to anybody.
Say his name again for us?
Mark
Can you say
Booker.
Mark Booker? And Mark
So
Booker.
Mark, yeah, he's in Fall River.
B-O. He's in Fall River. Would he consider coming on the
Booker.
show to talk about this too?
I will talk to him about it. He's been hesitant about going public because he doesn't want that to distract from the legal work he's doing with John. But now that the trial's over, it's possible. I mean, I'll see him tomorrow morning at the sentencing hearing. So, because I've been wondering that too now. So I'll check with him, see what he thinks. And he may just not want to be in the public eye either.
We totally get that sometimes. Is there anything like final that you want to say tonight that you didn't get to talk about?
I think we've covered it, really. Yeah, I think we've covered it.
We have a couple. Here's one question that came in. What have his high school friends said? So, John, have any of his high school friends said anything about what's going on with him?
Not that I know of. People kind of, over the years, because he's been incarcerated, he's kind of lost touch with people. He has a lot of support from his family, though. From a lot of his family. I don't know that he's been in contact with any high school friends.
All my friends that have been in prison say that people might come see you for the first month or two, and then the longer you're in there, the less that people, they forget about you. They move on with their lives.
They do.
It's human nature.
Yeah.
Even family members,
Yeah.
So that his family's still kicking around means something to me. Sherry asked, will it be on Zoom tomorrow? I don't think so. Will it be on Zoom, the sentencing?
No.
Is it anything we really want to even watch?
I don't even know. I mean, I think there's going to be victim impact statements. I thought about asking for it to be on Zoom, but then I thought if people are making victim impact statements, they may not, that's very personal.
That'd be helpful to them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't even ask for it to be on Zoom.
Robert's asking, what is John's last name? It's Carey. It's Carey, right? It's spelled John.
Yes.
John Carey.
Yeah.
And the woman's name is Claire Gravel. Gravel. And we do have it pinned in the chat, in the YouTube chat, if people want to see that, about the story from Boston.com when John was recently convicted of this, a 40-year-old cold case. I mean, that to me is weird, the 40-year-old cold case. It's like, and all of a sudden you solve it. It's like, I don't know. It does seem very suspicious. Especially with the 3 police officers involved.
There's a lot of weird things about this from the beginning, I
wonder, was Paul Tucker a police officer in 1986?
He, as far as I know, he was new to the Salem police in 1986. And because when John was indicted, he kind of came out and said he remembered when this happened.
I wonder if does he remember the cop that was allegedly stalking her that got arrested for child rape or whatever?
No. I don't know. I can't talk to him, so I don't know.
I know, right?
I don't want to anyway, so.
You don't want to? I
really don't.
Maybe I'll ask him if I see him again. I recently had I had a, sometimes I show up there because he has press conferences in the DA's office. I showed up there for the Gigalotti press conference about a guy in Haverhill that got basically trampled by cops. He was having a medical issue.
Oh,
so maybe this will be something I ask him in the future if I see him around.
Yeah. Ask him about the Salem cop because honestly, to me, he's the most suspicious one, honestly. And statistically, people get harmed by someone they know, and she's the only one. Besides the Salem State cop, he's the only other one that she actually knew.
Did they find any other DNA on that T-shirt besides Claire? Claire and John's.
So there are some alleles in the DNA profile that don't match either of them.
Really?
Yeah.
So it could have been some other people there.
Yeah. But, I think I think they, because the thing is they got this 390 million times match for John. Anything else pales. But yeah, there was also 3 blood drops of blood on her the sweatshirt, and that one of the drops, so 2 of the drops they couldn't get anything out of. One of the drops had some alleles in it that did not match Claire or John.
It is weird about the percentages, like you said, that it was so high for him. But I don't know. I'm not a DNA expert, so what do I know?
Well, the defense's DNA expert says it's very weird. He thought it
did.
was, yeah, no, he says it's very weird too. So,
And so John had a DNA expert. Did he have any other expert witnesses? Any other witnesses for him?
yeah, so they had a bug guy. So, the police had determined that she had been killed and left in the woods off the highway on early Sunday morning. But so the defense they hired a bug guy to look, and it turns out that she had eggs laid in her nose and in her eyes, but they hadn't hatched. And they did the autopsy Tuesday morning, so 24 hours later. So the defense's bug guy said that if her body had been left Sunday morning and the eggs would have been laid around that time, they would have hatched by Tuesday morning. So the defense's bug guy said that he thinks her body was there Monday morning, which is when the cop was there. So the prosecution had to scramble and get their own bug guy. And what was interesting is their bug guy said, well, he didn't think her body had been left there Monday morning. He thought it had been like late Sunday. But he said that it is not likely that her body was left there on Sunday morning because he said the same thing. There would have been eggs that have hatched. So you have both of them saying that her body was put there either late on Sunday or early Monday morning.
It's interesting. I agree on that one.
Yeah.
So you have a kitty cat there. What is
Yeah.
it?
That's Essie.
Essie.
Yes.
She's cute. Is it a boy or girl? Girl?
It's a girl. She's a girl.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So
cute. I
she
see
likes
her.
to.
She
She
likes to
things
be
out.
near you. You can tell.
Yeah. 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 Oh, thank you.
Liz made a comment too. She said, question actually, didn't Claire keep a diary and talked about the
Yes.
cop?
Actually, yeah, I left that out. That's how we know that he was stalking her, was because in her diary she was writing about how he would show up and he'd bother her and try and get her to go out, and she said, I'm absolutely not going out with this guy. And she talked about a few times where he showed up and was hassling her, so she actually had to leave. She grabbed a friend and left, made some excuse and left. So yeah, she talked about in her diary, she talked about the city of Salem cop.
Not the Salem State cop.
No. But she knew him, again, she knew him. They all hung out together. So
Interesting. And then you have this Beverly cop who.
Yeah,
that's so weird.
It's weird. I mean, to me, that's.
What if the Beverly cop and the Salem cop were friends? That would be even weirder, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm wondering. Maybe they were covering up for each other. I don't know. But
is that guy still alive? The Beverly cop? He is, right?
Yeah, they flew him up from out of state.
They flew him up. That's
right. To have him say where he was Saturday night and Sunday night, which I thought was weird, actually.
He said that's right. He said he was driving. That is weird. He got in a fight with his wife, you said?
Yes, and he lived in Lynn. So he drove to Beverly, and he said he had no reason to drive to Beverly.
That is weird.
It's
almost like, too, if you're a cop, too, you like, I don't know, it just raises red flags to me again, because I know cops, and I grew up with some of them and even hung out with some of them, and like they feel safer in the town that they work in, always.
Yeah.
Like that's why a lot of cops will drive drunk in their own towns. Let's just be
Mm,
serious because they know no one's effing with them. So
right.
like they have no qualms driving home from the bar, shit faced a lot of these cops in
Yeah.
the town they work in because they know the guys who are gonna pull them over are their
Right.
friends.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? So that's what to me, if the guy lives in Lynn and he's back in Beverly on 128, I'm just kind of like, that is weird.
That's
That
yeah.
is weird. It makes me think like he's hunting or something. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
don't know
Or
anything. I'm not making any allegations. Don't sue me. I don't know anything. I'm raising questions. That's it.
yeah. Yeah. Well, there was that night, that Saturday night, late in the bar. Claire was talking with a man that nobody recognized. And it could have been this cop because it fits the description. It also kind of fits the description of John too, but they've never really identified who this guy was that she was talking to. Plus, he left like hours before she did too. So I'm not even sure if that person's significant or not. But I mean, you talk about hunting, like it does make me wonder if, he was going around places looking for someone. I don't know.
That's what it seems like. It seems like someone might have just picked her up that was looking, especially
Yeah.
back then in the 70s, in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s. It was a lot wilder than today. Let's just put it that way
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
There was a lot more crime. There was a lot more violence, especially against women, especially the 80s. 1986, this stuff happened a lot, actually. It was.
Really? Yeah. Wow. I thought it was so safe back then. I guess not.
I mean, that's the thing. You're the What the Hell gang. Someone posted in the chat tonight about that. They were still kicking around. Like the mafia. The mafia is actually who you didn't have to be worried about, actually. Unless you were, part of the gang, the rival gang, then they might target you or Whitey Bulger. But, for the most part, the mafia wasn't really that violent to people outside of that lifestyle. But still, they were kicking around back then. It was just a
Yeah.
different time. Um,
Yeah.
this is it's hard to fathom that this guy could be in jail and he didn't do it, and 40 years later he gets convicted for this, which is I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's something weird about it too with the cops involved and the DA that used to be a Salem police chief. I don't know. That's why the Kelsey Fitzsimmons thing got me so interested. It's
Right.
just like the Gigalotti thing. It's like, is this DA? I think being a former Salem police chief has a lot of conflict of interest. You know, I don't know.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so. And he knew the previous DA very, very well and
John
testified
Blodgett.
for them. Um, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, if you want to hear
Uh,
I have multiple conspiracy theories around this.
you do.
But the cops, no, those cops are all retired. But I kind of wondered. So John got indicted the end of August 2022, and I was just kind of like, I wonder why then. What was the reason they picked that particular date? And then I started looking into the elections for the DA. And there was an election 10 days after John was indicted, and there was somebody running against Tucker who was actually um, had a lot of support. And
I had
Tucker
him on. He was phenomenal. I
was
had
a
him on the
yeah,
show.
yeah,
He was a defense attorney. What was his name? Lynch? No, what was his name? I'm trying to remember his name. Oh, I should look him up. He was really good. I was
yeah,
surprised at how good he was. And
yeah,
like we're when he came on the show too, we were all laughing, like because we're like, this guy has the most impressive office Zoom situation ever. Like we have a
uh-huh,
lot of guests on the show, and we're just like,
yeah,
that is an impressive looking Zoom setup, like his office.
really,
It just looked
yeah,
like so like professional, and he was
yeah.
so on point. And he almost won. It was like
It was
so close between Tucker and him.
so my
James something. James
yeah.
look him up. Go ahead.
My theory, though, is that they got the indictment right before the election to push Tucker over, to be like, oh, look, I'm endorsing Tucker and I just solved a 40-year-old case. That's my theory.
That's a good point. I would not, I mean, you know?
Yeah. Honestly,
That's
at this point, after what I've seen, I would not put anything past them. Nothing.
and definitely like Blodgett, Blodgett had been here for a long time. He had a
Yeah.
scandal too with this other case that I covered, and
Oh, really?
it was a silly case too. It was like ridiculous. It was like about activists, about who hit who, and it's
No.
like Trumpers versus a liberal, and the video showed one thing, but they charged the guy, and I saw the video. I knew what happened right then, that they
Yeah.
charged the wrong
Yeah.
person. Like, give me a break. Like, she throws water at the guy, and you're charging the guy who had the water thrown at him. Come on,
Mhm.
like it's just
Mhm.
ridiculous.
It's
And,
like
it blew up in his
charging.
face, and that's
Yeah.
when he decided not to run for re-election.
Oh, really? Oh, I
I think
didn't
that was a big
realize.
part of it. Yeah, the guy's name was
Oh,
Shimmy. It was free Shimmy. Yeah,
okay.
there was a lot of
Okay.
heat on that case.
Yeah. Well,
But
all
I think there was some other scandals too going around
well,
Blodgett as well.
they have this whole scheme now. While we're talking about the DA, they have this whole scheme. So John was in Middleton for 3 years, and he was watching what was going on, and inmates would come up to him and tell him their stories, and like they pretty much anybody that gets arrested doesn't really even matter for. They would get them declared dangerous, so they couldn't get bail, and then they drag it out. And so I mean, even people they didn't have evidence on, they would go to court and say, like, oh, well, we're getting evidence. We'll have evidence that's coming along. And they'll charge them with something way worse than what actually happened. And then they'll drag this out for a couple of years. And then they'll reduce the charges and say, oh, well, if you just plead to this lesser charge, you'll be out in a few months. And that's what people do. And that's how they get their 95% conviction.
I mean, if you look at Kelsey Fitzsimmons that we've mentioned tonight and Karen Reed,
Hmm.
number one, they first tried to indict Kelsey Fitzsimmons on attempted murder. They failed at that. They failed at that.
Really? Yeah.
They got the indictment on an assault, and then they failed on that to convict her.
Yeah.
With Karen Reed, they originally charged her, I think, with manslaughter, and then they upped it when they found out she was gonna, fight it. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, it was murder too.
Oh.
And why do you think murder too? Because they were hoping she might plead down to manslaughter. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like they're trying to
Yeah.
scare her. That's what they do. They
Right. Yeah.
upcharge people to try
Yeah.
to scare you to plead down to the charge you want. It's almost
Yeah.
like sales, where if you offer someone a car for 50 grand, and you really know that they only have enough for a 20 grand car, and then you offer someone a $22,000 car, they'll look at the $22,000 car as a deal, because
Right.
you
Yeah.
just showed them a $50,000 car, and it's
Yeah.
like it's the kind of the same idea. It's like,
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
gonna
It is.
offer someone two choices, they're gonna pick the one that's best for them,
Right. Yeah. But
and
then
they
you
wait
end
till
up.
you, yeah, like this one, wait till you run out of money. Like
Yeah.
those people that were suing me, that's what they were hoping would happen, that I would run out of defense money and I would make a settlement with them, even
Mm.
though I was, not going to lose that case. Yeah, and that's the thing. Imagine the people that don't have the money or support to begin with. I
I
mean, that's
know.
the good thing about John. He's got you here. He does
Yeah.
have a couple people there, which is good for him, but that's the tough part, especially when they put you behind bars, then you have nobody.
Right. And most people don't. And then, you get defense lawyers that are not as committed or they're overworked or whatever. And, I've even seen people hire their own really good attorneys who didn't do a good job for them. So,
Happens a lot. Like you
yeah.
said, a lot of it, I think it's overworked. I think they take on too many cases.
Yeah.
They get stretched out. They don't have enough. And what do they
Yeah.
care? I mean, what in the end, what do they care? A lot of times they're just like, I mean, it's almost like being a doctor. There's like triage, and it's kind of like,
Yeah.
you're gonna lose some people, so you just kind of you detach. You have to
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
almost have to detach. Like
Yeah.
my life over the last couple of years has been, besides doing the YouTube show, I do a lot of dog walking and dog care. And because, if you have 15 customers, 15 dogs you get to know, if an average dog lives 15 years, you're going to lose a dog every single year. And
Mm.
when I first started doing it, it would just crush me. It would just get
Yeah.
but after a while, you just kind of get used to it. It's just kind of
Yeah.
like it still sucks when you lose a dog. You still get
Mhm.
sad, but you
Yeah.
kind of just you mentally you get used to it. You just kind of
Yeah.
like, it's just part of the game. I can't get upset every time a dog dies because
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
happens a lot, unfortunately. And
Yeah.
I think that's the same thing with this, with the lawyers, that they just like say, well, we're gonna win some, and a lot of them we're gonna lose. Unfortunately, it's just the
Yeah.
way it goes, and nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get too stressed about it. I'm just gonna wake up and do my job tomorrow. I'm
Right.
gonna have steak dinner tonight.
Yeah. Well, and that's one thing that's really good with Mark is he's very dedicated and he works very hard and he takes it very seriously, you know. So he's not gonna cut corners just because it's easier, you know, that it's easier for him. And I don't think he's gonna take more cases than he can take on and do a good job with.
That's why I need Sarah here. Sarah's my mod, but I also should get Sarah up on the show sometimes because she finishes my words for me. This is the word I was looking for.
Mm,
Compartmentalize. That's
yeah.
what it is. You have to be able to I have a hard time saying that word. You have to be able to compartmentalize in some situations to remain effective, like medicine. Like, medicine's one of the ones you definitely have to do that. And I think police officers have to do that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I have a lot of friends who've been police officers, and I think the two worst situations that they come across a lot, pretty common, domestic violence, which is horrible. They hate going to
Yeah.
they see a lot of horrible crap in domestic violence. And then just the car accidents. Some of the car accidents that they come up on, it's just
Yeah.
like you can't believe what you see out on those roads, with people, the end
Yeah.
result of speeding and drunk driving and people
Yeah.
driving like maniacs. And
Yeah.
I just know some of the guys get really shook up, and it just, it whacks you out in the head when you have to come across, a
Yeah.
young baby or a young person, and it's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be really horrible to see.
I think lawyers probably have that similar situation when they're fighting for somebody's life like that too. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. It was traumatic, actually. We all had PTSD by the end of it. And even
right.
Mark said he was a little bit traumatized by it. Yeah. 'Cause it
I feel
is.
like after covering these things, and like I'm sitting in my studio. You know what I mean? Like most
Mhm.
of the time, I don't even go to court. Let's be serious, but I still feel it. Like,
Yeah,
because you start to feel like some of these people. Sometimes you know the
yeah,
families, and
yeah.
you get an attachment. I can't imagine if it was actually my family or me in that
Yeah,
situation. It's like it's another level of it,
yeah,
and that's why we cover
yeah.
this stuff, just to kind of give families and victims a voice on this stuff. Because I know a
Right.
lot of times there's nobody to go to. And let me ask you one more question, because tonight you said you were an empath.
Yes.
And I felt that because I feel like sometimes I'm a little bit of an empath, believe it or
Mm-hmm.
not. And not that I'm wicked empath, but I'm kind of a listener. Like, I know I talk a lot in this show, and
Mm-hmm.
but in a lot of social situations, I'm the one who's usually not talking. I'm just kind of checking everything out, watch. I
Yeah.
watch. I check people out. I really do,
Yeah.
and I pick up on things too. But at times, and who's really good at that, especially when it comes to me, my girlfriend.
Mhm.
She'll tell, without even meeting some of these characters that are around me through YouTube or whatever. She'll be like, that one's bad, don't trust them. And I'll be like,
Hmm.
no, they're really nice. And then 6 months later, I'll be like, oh my God, you were so right, how did you know?
Huh.
She'll
Wow.
just be like, I just knew. I just
Yeah.
know who's bad around you. It's funny
Yeah.
how, but sometimes we don't, even though I feel like I have those powers too. Like, if when I'm trying to protect her, I feel like I'm always knowing what's going on around her in terms of
Yeah.
protecting her. But sometimes you don't see it
For yourself.
around yourself. Sometimes
Yeah.
even though you have those powers, because you want to like the person, you want to trust them, you find something in them. Do you think you could be conned by him because you have feelings for him? I mean, is that something that comes up in your thoughts? And it must a little
No.
bit, right?
No, actually it doesn't. I'm usually running away from people, actually.
Me too.
I'm a little bit like I'm hypersensitive. So if I sense anything even a little off with someone, I'm just like, no, I don't want to, I'm not just don't want to go there. Um, But I've never, I mean, really never felt anything off, anything. And that's why this indictment threw me, because I'm just like I've never noticed. Like, I'm just like I've never felt anything, anything. Like I really feel like I would notice something that major if somebody was hiding it from me.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, it's to the point in my life I've had to tone down my reactions, because when I was younger, I used to come across as being very judgmental, because I would meet somebody and be like, "Oh, I'm not comfortable with that person," and everybody else is like, what, be nicer. Why are you being so judgmental?" And then it would turn out the person was like, a fraud or whatever. Um, so I've actually, I'm very hypersensitive to things like that.
That's like a superpower though sometimes. Like I
It's,
always that's the thing. My girl protects me a lot on this stuff.
yeah,
I've got a new thing. I got a new thing called Trust Nobody. From I think that came from Tupac actually, but it
yeah,
just it's hard to trust people, especially when you're on a platform like this with YouTube and people
yeah,
want a piece of you.
yeah,
It gets very weird out there. I don't,
yeah. Oh, that I can imagine. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Um, I've actually gotten more trusting over the years, I think. But I feel like that's getting, the more like comfortable I am with myself and the more boundaries that I can have, then I can feel more comfortable with the people that maybe I might have felt a little uncomfortable with in the past. And also too, just being around people, like I just started trying to be less judgmental. And so if I was around people that were like brash or aggressive or, bikers or, whatever, like whatever sort of people that I may have felt uncomfortable with, I've tried to put myself around them more so that I'll feel more comfortable.
Oh, that's how you like. I used to be afraid of dogs.
Yeah, yeah,
I walk dogs for a living.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
amazing. It's like I have no fear of dogs now. It's like I found out dogs like me. I don't know why, but they
yeah.
just do. They always like me.
Well, that's
Uh,
good.
I think
Yeah,
I have better luck with dogs than people.
yeah, yeah. That's why I have cats.
Yeah, I like cats too. Cats are cool.
They are.
Cats are funny. They're just different. They're like very independent.
Yeah.
They do what they want when they want to, and I
But they're
love
they're
cats.
they're weird. They do the
They are.
weirdest stuff.
All
That's what,
animals are weird. I got a little weird
yeah.
old boy upstairs. He's a dog. He's got some quirks.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. He is. Once I once I leave the studio, all I'm gonna hear is a little whimpering because he's
Mm,
treat time. Daddy's coming back. Treat time. You didn't
yeah,
bring me in the studio. Now I'll give you a treat.
yeah.
If he was in here the whole time, he'd be whimpering for treats. He knows he's
Oh,
got a
really?
sucker over here. Oh,
Oh,
I'm an easy mark now.
yeah, yeah. I'm a sucker. I am.
Well, awesome. I think we've covered a lot of ground. Is there anything else in the document that you had up that you wanted to show too on this? Or did we pretty much show everything on this?
The pictures are the main things. The only other thing in the document
Was
is
this one?
the list of the story that she told. I mean, I don't know if anybody wants to see that.
Or is it or this is it, yes. Or is it this one? 'Cause we have a couple here. Do we
Oh,
have
yeah, well, I put up twice. I didn't
Oh, this is
know.
a file?
That's a file. Yeah, I wasn't sure which was like, yeah, right. Okay, so right there, all those little bullet points, that was her
Yep.
story that she told that has no grounding in reality at all. But this
Whose
is what
story
she
is
told.
this?
So this is the closing argument. So again, kind of
Oh,
like what
from
Richie
the
was,
DA, from the
yeah,
DA's
like kind
office.
of like what Richie was saying, how like at that his other trial, she was like talking about how all these videos that he watches are of people being murdered, and that's the last thing the jury hears. This was the last thing the jury heard. In the closing arguments, she said, I don't know how Claire was killed, but here's a possibility. And she tells this story about how Claire got in his car, they drove up 128, they pulled over so she could go to the bathroom off the road. She went behind the trees, he grabbed her, started beating on her. I mean, it's right there. Like, I mean, she went into detail
I'll
about
read it.
this.
I'll read it. I mean, this is interesting because this is what's gonna probably free him. I
Yeah.
mean, because I mean, we'll just read this. Against the backdrop the Commonwealth in its closing argument suggested, they didn't have proof, they suggested to the jury a scenario in which the decedent got into Mr. Carey's car, the decedent and Mr. Carey traveled in the car toward Mr. Carey's home in Gloucester. The decedent either brought a bottle of beer with her or obtained a bottle of beer. The decedent might have needed to relieve herself, resulting in the car en route to Gloucester stopping on the side of Route 128 North. The decedent went away from the roadside into the woods to relieve herself. A piece of tissue paper ultimately found near the decedent's body was there because she intended to use it after relieving herself. Mr. Carey then pushed her head into a tree, causing an abrasion on the side of the head near the right temple, took hold of her left arm, leaving what appears to be a mark caused by a finger, and Mr. Carey strangled her from behind to satisfy his sexual interest in strangulation. That is a lot when you really don't have proof of any of it.
And that is the last thing the jury heard before they went into deliberation. And to be perfect, oh, and she had a picture of the woods with the body in the background up the whole time. And to be honest, that scenario played in my head for several days afterwards. Like, and I knew it wasn't true. And that's the impact it had, was that it just kept replaying in my head. Because it was just, it's so powerful and so detailed. So, you know, you can just imagine the effect it had on the jury.
Like it says in this, in this filing, none of these suggestions was supported by the evidence.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing. The jury's supposed to decide on the evidence, not what
Right.
the DA's office thinks happened.
Right. Exactly. But the thing is that they couldn't put her with John for, when she was killed. That was the big missing piece. So they had to make up a story. And that's the only way they could put her with him.
What you call the conspiracy theory is sticking with me. I think you're onto something. Because I do remember during that election when they did announce the cold case was solved. And it just, that is headline grabbing, to solve a 40-year-old cold case murder of Claire Gravel. I mean, I remember in 1986 when people were talking about this murder. I remember it specifically.
Really? Yeah.
And it's just like, that's the thing. People, a lot of old timers. Who votes? Old timers. If I'm Gen X and I remember it, the baby boomers remember it that live here, and the ones that live here for 40, 50 years that never leave, they're the ones who vote. So that's your target demographic right there. The older people are the voters. The older townies are the voters. That's it. That's where you're trying to get those votes. And that hits for him. That is, I think you're onto something on that. Why? And the thing is, the DA's office is a political job. It really is a political office. That's the thing. That people think it's all about law enforcement, how good of a lawyer you are. It's a very political job, a DA.
It is. Yeah,
it
is.
So,
and they have to get convictions in order to, move up.
And it looks good when you solve a case, a murder 40 years later.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks good for you.
Yeah, it does.
Well, this is interesting. I'd like to stay up to date on this. If anything else happens, I would love to follow up with you on this, Noelle.
I definitely, and as the appeal process goes on, if there's any hearings or anything like that, I will definitely keep you up to date.
Especially if there's an SJC hearing. Sometimes those are televised. Sometimes we can even stream those. So
I would like to try. I would like to try and get anything in the future televised.
Awesome. Let us know, and best of luck on this for you. And if there's anything I can do, just let me know. And I'm here for you. I appreciate you coming on. You spent 2 hours on this, and
well,
I think you did. I think you did a good job. You're not nervous, are you?
A little.
You did a good job. It was people enjoyed it. A lot of people were watching, so I want to thank you for being here tonight.
Well, good. Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for listening to our, what we say is the truth. We want to get the truth out there. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you for being here. That's Noelle, and let's give her a big round of applause in the
Mhm.
chat. Have you ever done anything before we let you go? Have you ever done anything like this before, where you're on a live show and it's on
No,
YouTube or anything like this? No,
no, actually, I haven't been, but I've been up in front of people a lot. So
you have. So you've done
yeah,
that in probably your workplace, I'm sure, and things like that.
yeah. I mean, I've done a lot of teaching over the years, so I'm used to kind of being in front of people and stuff.
I
And
could tell you were good.
before it started, I was like, okay, I'm gonna just pretend like I'm just having a conversation with you, and there's nobody else watching. Was kind of how I went into this.
Well, that's exactly how it should be.
Yeah,
Just a conversation with somebody, and a lot of times I don't even look at the chat because of that. Tonight I was looking at it a little more because this is a new
yeah,
case. I want to see what people were thinking and feeling about
yeah,
it.
yeah,
But it's that's the way to do it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We're just trying to get the
You're
word
you're a natural. You did a good job. I want to thank you
out.
so
Oh,
much for being here,
thank
and
you.
keep us updated. Best of
Okay,
luck on this.
okay.
Thank you so much, Noelle.
All right. Well, thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye. We're the Young Jerks. This is Mike Crawford. I want to thank everyone for watching tonight. Honest Lee says, Mike, you need to keep us abreast of this going forward, please. Thank you for another great show. I hope so. Hopefully, maybe there'll be some progress. I don't know. A lot of things going on in my county, Essex County, where I'm from. A lot of stuff. They just had a big conviction. She talked about that today. The church lady, that Jody Church, she got convicted. The Salisbury lady who gave antifreeze to her boyfriend. They did have a big win. I think that lady did it, but I don't know. I mean, you never know. There was another. They were trying to blame it on somebody else. There was a love triangle even on that one. Oh, no more compliments. I'm sorry, Sarah. What did I do, Sarah? Don't leave me. Don't. There it is. I love when Mike giggles. I thought you were making fun of me. Oh, thank you, Sarah. I appreciate the compliment. I think we're good. I don't know when my next show is going to be. I don't even know what I'm going to do. I'm just kind of, I don't want to pressure myself. Last year, I was like, the taxes take me so long to do now because you got to realize when you're doing, I have basically three businesses, and uh, two of them, especially, the dog walk business and the YouTube thing going on here. There's a lot of different revenue streams and a lot of write-offs and expenses and just a lot of accounting. And it just takes me a long time. It puts a lot of pressure on me to get my taxes done. And I didn't want to overwhelm myself and get burnt out again. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna take it easy until my taxes are done. But I made a lot of progress, so I might stop booking shows again. We'll see. Good chat tonight. I want to thank everyone for being here. And we had a good audience tonight. I wasn't sure how many people were going to watch this tonight. It was actually more than I expected. It wasn't like record breaking, but it was pretty good considering there were a lot of big shows up against us tonight on topics people are already invested in and interested in. So, we could be talking about the turtle stuff tonight, what happened in court. People were highly invested in that today. We didn't touch it. Another big thing that I want to get back to and talk more about too is what's going on in Iran in terms of oil and gas and investing. And I gave my doom show over a month ago. I think it's almost 2 months ago now. I'm trying to think. We should look up and see when that doom show is when I told everyone to buy the oil companies. But I still stand by that. You saw oil price come down last night when Trump backed off. That oil price is going back up, people. Like, I know a lot of people think we're out of the woods, but do you know how much production got wiped out over there? Like, it's not even just about the strait now, it's about the production. And Iran's not backing down, and neither is Israel. Trump's lost control. So I think we're in for some doom. I do. I think the next couple months not going to be good. Not going to be good. So I might be covering some of that Debbie Downer stuff. We'll see. Oh, thank you for being here, Simon. I want to thank Sarah and Shock and Horror for being here tonight. And all my chats. I saw Natalie was here today. Wasn't Natalie Diana? I saw her earlier. Who else? I think I saw some Mia. I think Mia was here tonight as well. I know I saw her early on, Mia. Yeah, Natalie was here. Natalie Diana was here tonight. Thank you, Natalie. I'm all caught up, she says. I love that. I love that. You all caught up? We all have a little lingo from JFK. We all steal it. It's funny. Some of the people that hate him. Yeah, I don't even need to say names at this point. No, Vic was here too. I love Vic. What's up, Victorine? She's one of my favorites. But it is funny how many some of the people who even like really dislike and hate JFK, they still repeat. They still do what we all do. We're like, we use his phrases. You all caught up? I like when Kevy Kev gets mad. When Kevy Kev gets very serious. Oh, it kills me. I love Kevy Kev. I love the JFK crew. I haven't watched them lately. I got to start watching them again. That's when you know I've been busy. I haven't watched really any of the other shows. Sometimes during the day, like I was watching. Who was I watching today? I was watching Lana. Lana had me cracking up today. She is fucking funny. Lana and I have a lot in common too. Lana, we both like music. I figured that out. And we're both jocks. We both played college sports. Lana and I probably need to do a show because I think we have a lot in common. She's a little younger than me, but we have that kind of jock attitude and the anti-fashion thing. Like that's the funniest thing when she was talking about like you know, the Indiana basketball team. They had the shittiest uniforms, but they still won. Like that's the thing about athletes. We don't care about that kind of superficial wrapper like that whatever you're wearing because none of that shit matters. Like I was watching a fight the other night, right? It was like just on YouTube. And there was this racist guy. He had like racist Nazi tattoos, and the video was like Nazi gets knocked out in a boxing match, or I think it was MMA, whatever it was. And I'm looking at these two guys that are about to fight, right? In this video. And there's this one guy, he's like all jacked and huge, and he's wicked aggressive in the beginning. I'm like, that guy's gonna win. And then I'm like, no, actually, he's not gonna win. He looks like he's gonna win. He's the one that the audience that doesn't know any better would automatically assume is gonna win the fight. But the guy that looked less intimidating, boom, knocked him out. Knocked him out. And that's the thing. You can in sports, athletics, you learn. Don't judge the book by its cover. You never know. You don't know. And that's the funniest thing when people are like, oh, you can't wrestle. You can't fight. Look at you. It's like, yeah, you want to find out? You want to find out? I had a lot of kids say that for like the first half hour of practice the first day, and then they don't say it anymore. You don't judge a book by its cover. You don't know. You don't know. It's just like a lot of rich, truly rich people. Like if you look at Warren Buffett, he's driving around in like a 1985 Datsun. Like truly rich, successful people. A lot of times they don't show it. Don't judge a book by its cover. It's really about It's not about what's on the cover. It's about what's inside the book. You know. But it's just funny. Lana makes me crack up. She was cracking me up today. I was just like laughing my ass off. One of the things like that was funny today. I don't want to pick sides. I'm not bagging on anybody. I'm not causing drama. But it just occurred to me. I think that Tom, if I was in charge of the WWE, I'd be calling up Tom DeRosa and giving him a contract because he can sell. He's always he's always getting in a scuffle, and I mean, it's like, how many times have we seen this now? And people are like, he assaulted Tommy. I'm like, really? Do you guys watch WWE and think it's real too? I don't know. It's just fucking funny. He's committed. Old school cars. Yeah. Like a lot of people too in America now, they want the older cars, like, a 20-year-old Honda, like, because they last longer. If you get a low mile 10, 15-year-old Honda or Toyota, like people are paying good money for those now because they last, you know? And you're also not being tracked by the government. Like that's the thing. I got a rental right now that I'm driving around with, and that thing is tracking me. Like it's like it's got like 5,000 miles on it. It's a brand new car, and that thing is tracking me. I mean, that thing has a lot of computer chips in it. Yeah, Lana is hilarious. She was just cracking me up today. So I don't even know what she said, but just so many things she was saying was just cracking me up. Yeah, and JFK is a trendsetter. I mean, you all caught up? You all caught up? Oh, look at this. Oh, Mike, you fucking with my ability to heat my home again so you can make money. Oh no. Did you give me money tonight? Thank you, Randy, Rando supporter. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone who donates. There was one complaint recently said I talked about the money too much. The only reason I talk about the money so much now is because, I mean, they gave me the name Money Making Mike. They got jealous of how much money I was making. Like that was like a lot of the knives that came out in the free Karen Reed community. If you look at it, a lot of the shit that I've gotten, it's from other YouTubers and other people who are on Twitter that are jealous because they're like, look at all the money that guy made. Look at all the success he had over the last 2 years. I can do that. I can do that. Let me stab him in the back. Let me get his views. It's just fucking funny. I mean, that's why literally JFK started calling me Money Making Mike is because Machado brought it up. They literally got mad because we made too much money. So now I throw it in their faces. Like if you come at me with some shit, I'm using it. Like just like when Kevin used to call me Young Jelly, then we made T-shirts that were Young Jelly. Like it was fucking awesome. It was like if you cry about all the money I'm making, I'm gonna use it. Just like JFK. That's what JFK saw too. It was like, oh, now he's money making Mike. Mike's making all the money. They're jealous of him. It's hilarious. And it's funny that Jess Machado, that's all she ever talks about is the money, how much money she's making. I hope she's saving her tax money. You're gonna have a big tax bill, Jess. You better have that cash next year, April 15th. Keep track of all your expenses. The IRS is watching, trust me. And if you claim too many deductions, Jess, they're gonna audit you. You gotta be careful. Sarah says almost 2 years as a member, still proud to know you. Thank you so much. Member for 21 months. Sarah in shock and horror. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much, Sarah. Oh, you're investing in the oil. I get it. I love it. I love it. I hope you're making money. I mean, a lot of us we're up and now we're like the break even again. It's gonna go back up. Hold on to it. That oil, trust me, bro. Trust me. Hold on. Don't give up yet. Money making Mike. Yeah, she's going after Jen Altman tonight. Oh my God. Jen's got her number though. Jen and her crew have been reporting them, and they're like taking their channel down. Oh, that's pretty funny. Oh, then you gave me $9.99. I appreciate that, Rando. I appreciate that. That could have been $9.99. You were investing in some USO, that's a good one. Oh, thank you so much. Brenny Wood says, love this channel. I love my chat. I've missed you. I missed you all. Like I was kind of having a little withdrawals. I'm like, I haven't done a show in a while. Sanchez says he's making big money. Sanchez gave me $100 on Bitcoin. That was like the first time I ever got like a Bitcoin donation was from Sanchez. Yeah. Sanchez is interesting because I don't know who he is. He's like he loves me now. We both have the fighting, the martial arts thing going in common. He was the one who made that little thing. He was making fun of me at first over my Timberlane. Oh, I know what it was. It was the most improved wrestler. That was the scary thing about Sanchez. I was like, he somehow, I think he must have looked up the Daily News newspaper because I was probably in there in 1988 on the wrestling team. I won the most improved wrestler. So he's giving me a hard time about it. Like, oh, how good were you? You got the most improved wrestler. That's not the MVP award, right? But what he didn't know or he left out is in 1989, I won the most outstanding wrestler award the next year. So I went from most improved to outstanding wrestler on the high school wrestling team in 1988. And he somehow found that. And I'm like, how because then I started searching on Google. I'm like, how did he find that? How did he? I couldn't find it, but he knew. I'm like, how did he find out? So that's the thing about Sanchez. He is a journalist. He will find out shit, and I still don't know how he found out that I was the most improved wrestler in 1988 on my high school wrestling team. Like he had the year and the award down. I should probably pull out that award so you can see it. It's a pretty nice award actually, but I would not fuck with Sanchez. That guy, I don't know who he is. I don't know anything about him, but he's a supporter of mine now. But I wouldn't mess with him. He's got sources. He knows how to find the dirt. And I don't know how he found out that about me. In 1988, he found it. Yeah, he still stayed anonymous. Like I don't know. He sent me Bitcoin to a wallet, from one wallet to the other. I still don't know who he is. I have no idea who Sanchez is. If that's his real name, some people say Nick Rocco actually did a video call and said that he looks like what he looks like on Twitter. I don't know. Oh, I saw LTL was here for a minute tonight too. Hope LTL's doing good. He had a big show with Nan tonight. So if you didn't check that out, go check that out after. Yeah, Sanchez talks to God. Sanchez is like one of the biggest journalists on YouTube. I mean, on Twitter. He's probably the biggest journalist ever on Twitter, actually. He's broken a lot of stories, actually. It's funny. Yeah, nobody knows who he is. Nobody. Not, yeah. He's like, trust nobody, right? Hey, Dennis, how you doing tonight? Good to see you, bro. Oh, thank you, Simon. Simon says, best join the party. Love, get me in JFK chat. Still can't send or even do some. I have no say on JFK. I may have a wrench over there, but I've never moderated on there. I don't have any control. I don't ask JFK for anything. That's not how our friendship works. So I'm sorry. I don't have any pull over there. I wish I could help you, but I don't. I appreciate the £5 though. No, I'm still working on my taxes, but I'm pretty close. I'm pretty damn close. I got my W-2 in from the Howie Car Radio Network. I got my YouTube money in there. I got my Facebook. I got my X money. I got all my law like legal fees in there, and what I raised. What else did I do? I've done a lot of my home office deductions. I still have to put my health care in. What else do I got to do? I got to put the PayPal money in, the Venmo. But I'm getting close. I've made a lot of progress on my taxes. It's crazy the amount. And then I got the investments. That's the other thing that takes me a long time. the stupid non-taxable investments to put all the sell dates and the buy date. Oh, that's frustrating. I hate it. I hate doing taxes. I just wish they would send us a bill. I wish they would just say, "Hey, you made this money, this much money this year. On average, this is what the average small business taxpayer that does YouTube pays. Do you want to pay this and not file your taxes?" If they just did that to me and sent me a bill, I'd check the box as long as it looked good. I just hate doing this. I hate it. I hate because you're always like, "Oh, I'm going to screw up. I'm going to forget something." And when you're self-employed, that's when you know that they're looking on at you. Like that's the thing. Because a lot of times we have all the deductions. So it's like, I gotta make sure I get all this right. Because if I get audited, it doesn't match up. I wouldn't trust it, but I would just do it because I hate doing taxes. I hate it. I get so nervous I'm gonna leave stuff out or I'm gonna screw something up. It's just and then I don't want to take it to a tax preparer because I'm just pulling all this shit out anyways. It's like if I'm doing all this work, I might as well just do it. Like that's the thing. I couldn't find my Meta or my Google, the YouTube money this year. I didn't get a W-2, so I had to log in and find those and pull it out and uh, the best thing I did this year, I said last year, it's really last year's taxes, right? But the best thing I did in 2025 is because I did make more money on YouTube. I made more money. 2025 was the best year probably I'll ever make on YouTube. And so I had a lot of income from that. And what I'm glad I did is I bought new lights. I bought a new camera. I bought a new mic. And I especially bought new computers. I got two new computers. Uh, two brand new computers so I could stream multiple things all at once. And I have backups and the computer prices are probably going to go through the roof now because of the oil issue and the plastic issue. So I'm glad I invested in equipment in 2025, which is awesome. So it sets me up for a while. I don't have to do any new computer purchases for a while, no matter what happens. And I got the write off. So I did do that right. Making money, Mike. You think I'm going to get the Eddie Vedder interview in 2026? All right, we'll see. Yeah, I don't even need the money. Like, it's just like, that's the thing. They're all worried about my numbers and my money. And I'm like, I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Yeah, energy and gas bill. Well, I do a home office, I don't think I'd be able to write off the energy bill because that's a home thing, but I do have the home office exemption. I do, which is beautiful. And that's the thing. We don't use this studio for anything else but my show, so I can write it off 100%, which is awesome too. And I write off my miles and my car. That's another thing I do is the mileage and the parking. I had actually a lot of parking costs this year because, I was paying over in Salem and so there's been some, parking costs. I pulled that out from the MBTA, all that stuff. It's just crazy. The little expenses you forget. And then some dinners. I got to write off some dinners this year. But that's why the taxes take so long. You got to go through everything. It's just like you got to document everything. Yeah, I'm eating my steak tonight. I'm fine. We did some good shopping. All right, this is my another long goodbye tonight, isn't it? Next Tuesday. That is my next confirmed show. I'm sure I'll do a show in between sometime. You never know. I may even go live tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Mass State Auditor Diana DiZoglio going to be on the show. We've been promising this interview for a while. She's coming back on the show Tuesday night at 6 p.m. I think it's going to be a quick 1 hour interview, and then I'll probably go right to the Canton Select Board at 7. That's how it should shape up that night. We'll see what happens, though. It's not the longest outro, but it's going. uh, oh, thank you for being here, Sue B. Thank you, Ruthie. Good to see you, Ruthie. I was listening to you, I think, on a space last night, actually. Late night. I was listening. They were trying to get me up on there. I heard my name dropped a couple times, and I'm like, not tonight. I'm just listening. I'm listening. I like listening to the ladies talk. I love the crew. Babs. Yeah, Babs was back. Good to listen to Babs, and I was learning stuff about the lol cows from YBE. She's funny as hell. She is funny as hell. They get so mad at her. Yeah, make sure you turn your notifications on if you're just here for the first time. Make sure you subscribe, sub up. Yeah, Ruthie is good. We could have Andrew Q back on. Yeah, maybe we'll check in on him after the John. Is it James Carver? James Carver court appearance on 413. Yeah, we'll check in with him soon. Yeah, Babs was on fire last night. She makes me crack up. I like Babs. Yeah, I like when she talks about the lol cows. That it's funny. It is funny. It's like Purple Kool-Aid got back up on YouTube, which I was surprised at. Like I don't, YouTube is weird. How do they like take his shit down and then let him back up? Especially considering some of the shit he said, which is I don't get it. I don't get how YouTube lets him back up. I mean, as I suppose as a YouTuber, I should be happy about that because I don't want to get, you know what I mean? Like, but it's YouTube is weird on that shit. It's funny. Babs cussing makes me yeah, she's hilarious. Babs makes me laugh. Yeah, baby, where the hell is my audit? You know we're gonna play that song when she comes on. I think I'm gonna play the clip where Grace Curley is dancing. Did you see when Grace Curley danced to that? That was so cute. Grace Curley, you could tell, has a thing now for Diana DiZoglio. Like that is something. Every time I go on Grace Curley, she's like, auditor, auditor. Like Grace is, you can tell, and she was dancing to it. Like we are both fans of State Auditor Diana DiZoglio. No, I know I don't talk like that, but still, like sometimes you never know. Yeah, I do. I feel healthy and well rested. That's the thing. I've tried to do everything this year to get my shit together that I kind of ignored over the last couple of years when I was covering Karen Reed. I got my eye fixed. I um I won my lawsuit. That was big. And I'm starting to take care of some other stuff too. Like I've been going to the doctors a lot. Like I've been I'm getting all my checkups. I did not the colonoscopy, but the other thing, the Cologuard. I'm doing all that stuff. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do right now. Catching up on stuff. Yeah, Grace is sweet. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't agree with her politically either. I like how they give me a hard time. She's like, yeah, like people reminded me again, Mike doesn't support Trump, but Trump supports Mike. And then she plays that clip where Trump says, I love Michael Crawford. He's talking about the Phantom of the Opera guy, but she pretends it's me. It's fucking funny. I like Grace a lot. It's fun to do her show. She's really good at it too. And I think they like having somebody that they can kind of give a hard time on the network that doesn't support Trump. I think they kind of enjoy it. Like they have somebody that like, yeah, we got this guy. He's not like us. We get a lot of shit for having him on, but we like him. He talks about true crime, It's like and every time it's like, yeah, you guys gonna contact Grace and Howie and tell them that I don't support Trump for the 100,000th time, and you think it's gonna make a difference? Like, they already know, they've already heard, they don't care. They don't care, folks. Yeah, that's the thing. If everyone thinks if you don't like Trump, you're a liberal. Like, is Tucker Carlson a liberal? That's the funniest shit of all. It's like I'm sitting there watching Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and who else? Even that Nikki Fuentes, that little racist dude. He is kind of funny. I mean, like some of the shit that they're saying, I'm just like, I can't believe I agree with them. Alex Jones, fucking InfoWars, dude. That guy I made fun of. I made fun of him so many times back in the day. The InfoWars guy. I used to say that he was Bill Hicks. It was like the only conspiracy theory I want to believe that Alex Jones won't touch is that he's Bill Hicks. Fucking, I'm agreeing with Alex Jones lately. Like, some of the shit, like, what's her name? What's that lady's name? The blonde lady that's on Sirius Internet Radio. She used to be in Fox. What's her name? The lawyer there. You know, Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly. She was saying some shit about Trump. Like, do we? It's like, I just laugh because she's like, I'm just sick of this. Can't he be normal for once? It's like, that's what you voted for, though. That's what you supported, Megyn Kelly. Joe Rogan. I'm laughing my ass off. I'm like, how about Theo Vaughn? I just laugh at him now. I'm like, you guys supported that shit. You supported it. I mean, that's the funniest shit. These Trumpers give me a hard time. It's like, you supported Trump. You can't give me a hard time over my politics. You supported $5 gasoline. It's going to be $10 soon. It's going to be $10 gasoline. That's coming. You know that's coming, right? You know this shit's not over. You know the supply shock hasn't hit us. April 15th is when it hits America. That's when the gas prices really start to go up. We haven't even, nothing's even hit yet. Wait till April 15th, people. Yeah, like, that's the thing. I don't like Alex Jones, obviously. He's an alcoholic. He's an alcoholic that profits off of misery of people. Like, yeah, just the stuff he did on Newtown. And how he's treated all his ex-wives. Look into how he's treated all of his wives. He's not a good person. He's abusive to his employees. I mean, look at almost all, if you look at a lot of his employees that have worked for him, they all say the same shit about Alex. Alex is not a good guy. He's sued a lot of people too. He's litigious too. It's funny how he got taken down by a lawsuit. He sued a lot of people too. You want to know what's for dinner tonight? I don't know, because it's funny. Like, my girlfriend made me a Reuben earlier. It was so good. She did a homemade Reuben tonight. It was so good. Like, I have these steaks I was gonna cook. I got those Delmonico steaks again I was gonna cook tonight, but she kind of got me with a Reuben. She hit me up like it was like a late lunch, early dinner type deal. So I don't know. I think I'm done. I think I had my Reuben, and I think that was probably my dinner, like a wicked early dinner. I don't know. And then I was eating those nerds. I don't know if you saw. I got the rental car. I opened the glove box, and there's like a huge family-sized bag of those gummy nerds. And the bag was opened already. It was like whoever returned the car forgot they had them in there. And once I smelled them, I was like, normally I wouldn't eat that shit because it's bad for you. And, but once I smelled it, I was like, oh my God. And especially it was already opened. You'd be like, no. And I've been eating them all. Fucking an already open bag of nerds. I'm eating them. So that was for dinner. I had the Reuben and then the bag of nerds. Yeah, I know, Sarah. That's what happened. I ate an open bag of candy. It's a large bag. My girlfriend was too. I warned her. I said, these are from someone we don't know. Their hand was probably already in there. We both ate them. We're feral animals. You haven't made the meatloaf? Come on. You got to get the meatloaf going. That's the other thing. I could make some meatloaf. I got some good ground beef again. Yeah, I did. With that bag of candy's almost gone. It was full, so it was like a family size bag. Look, I gotta go brush my teeth again. Oh, that's the other thing. I've been to the dentist recently. I had another tooth capped. I've spent so much money at the dentist over the last fucking 3 years. It's unbelievable. But I'm keeping up on it. I got another filling too. I got to go back. I spent so much money on cars and dentists that in the recall that I'm doing right now. Of course, they like your brakes are going too. It's like, oh shit, oh shit. You want me to have a hot dog tonight? I'm not doing a hot dog. No, no hot dogs tonight. If I'm doing anything tonight, it's gonna be those steaks. I'll probably just have some ice cream now. That's probably what I'm gonna do. I had the Reuben earlier. I had the Nerds. Now it's time for some ice cream. All right, I'm gonna head out, jerks. If you want to make a donation, you can always do the super chat, of course. We also have the Cash App or Venmo. I'm flashing across the screen. If you ever want to suggest a story we cover, like someone tonight was Karina Homer. I love to look at Karina Homer, but what I'm really looking for is like what we had tonight is somebody that will come on and talk about it. That's kind of an expert at it. So if you ever have any guest suggestions, especially if maybe you're the guest suggestion, you can always reach out, especially on different topics we cover. Um, yeah, I ate the strange. I did the strange and danger candy tonight. I did it. I took the chance. No razor blades. Um, but if you ever want to make a suggestion or any tips or leads you want to send over, mjcboston1 at yahoo.com is the email that I check a lot. It's also on our Twitter profile. So if you go to our X account, The Young Jerks, you can see it right there on the Twitter profile. You always find my email there. So if you ever want to suggest or send any news tips, mjcboston1 at yahoo.com. That's how I ended up with the guest tonight. She hit us up. And it is time to say goodnight. Good night. Thank you for being here, Natalie, Diana. Thank you, Ruthie. Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Sarah, my friend Sarah in Shock and Horror, who says she wants to get more involved in the show this year. And I think that's a good idea. I think we're going to have to work on that. We got to figure it out how. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, Aaron. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you soon. Let me just make sure I'm not missing any Venmos or any of that stuff. I don't think we have any Venmos tonight. I didn't see anything. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Sometimes that happens and I feel bad after. I'm like, oh no, someone gave a donation. I didn't thank them. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, and then I have people. That's the other thing. The latest one was Mane. I'm gonna say her name, Manacia. Manacia. She requested $30 from me. Says for CC. I'm like, what? So sometimes when we put out our Venmos and our Cash Apps, they request money from us. These scammers. Goddamn scammers. Yeah, the scammers. That's the other thing with the email address. Sometimes I put the email address out, and then these clowns all of a sudden subscribe me to like friggin' that happened one night. I think it was some of the Turtle Riders. They got mad at me, so they started subscribing me to all the newsletters. It's like, oh God, clowns. Clown show. Yeah, where's my 50 pounds? You're not getting it. I know how to deny your request. Not hard. It's the easy way to get blocked on there too by me. Ashley Madison. Oh, don't do that to me. Oh man, that stuff's happened to some people, right? Yeah, who has time for it? I don't have time for it. All I have time for is laughter. That's what I'm looking for. I'm having laughter at some of these clown show that goes on. They get all mad if I respond. I just laugh mostly. I had that like one Twitter response recently, and the reason I responded, people were like, "Oh, you're trying to brag about Karen. You're insecure." And it's like, no, the only reason I posted that is because I felt like they were bashing Karen, and I wanted the reality of how Karen actually treats people to be known. Karen Reed is always treating me very nicely, actually, very nicely. So, you're gonna talk shit about me. I at this point, I really don't care. My skin is pretty thick at this point. Like I saw Jimmy had like a card of me or some shit. I saw a screen capture of it. I'm like, this kid went out and made a garbage pail cut. I actually have to go watch that because it was kind of blurry. I couldn't see what he wrote, but I got a chuckle out of it. Like when Jimmy's bagging on me and shit, I don't care. I just have a laughter at it. But when you go after Karen, I don't know. I feel like I need to correct that. Yeah, and that's the way I feel lately. I feel happy and smiling because I got I got what I wanted in the end. You know, people are all like, "Oh, you're so worried about numbers and money," and it's like they're worried about it. I'm not. I know my value, and I know I got my people still here, and I know the universe always tells me. I always get those signals. My whole life. That's the way it is. My eyes always when I'm on the wrong path, I get whacked. And when I'm on the right path, I get Afro Man. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that for me, that always happens to me. That always happens to me. I always get that attaboy from the universe. And you guys supporting me through the Kelsey Fitzsimmons trial, watching how you responded, that was an attaboy for me. I've also had a lot of calls from journalists that I know and past guests on the show over the last maybe 6 months. And they remind me how important I was for Karen Reed and how important I was for Canton by covering all those select board meetings. People like Rita Lombardi, who I did speak to actually this morning. I spoke to Rita. Rita and I had a couple laughs this morning. There's a lot of people like that, a lot of journalists out there as well, people who are my peers who remind me. And when I had Afro Man on recently, that was another reminder. So yeah, I am smiling. I'm feeling pretty good actually. And it's not my drama. Like all that shit that they want to throw at me, all those people that got mad at me, it's not my drama. I've never had any restraining orders or any issues with ex-girlfriends or any issues with anybody really. Like I get along with people, you know what I mean? That's my kind of history. People like me for some reason. And I also have boundaries. And that's the thing. The guest tonight, Noel was talking about the boundaries thing. It's a lot easier in life if you can set boundaries for somebody like me. And I don't have an issue setting boundaries anymore. I really don't. Like you can be a nice guy and still set boundaries. And that's what I think I've set boundaries with my audience. And you either want to be here or you don't. It's like it's no loss to me. I think it's a loss to them. That's the thing. A lot of times these people will complain, "Oh, he blocked me. He blocked me." It's like, "Yeah, I blocked you. What you brought nothing to me. I looked at your timeline. There's nothing of interest there that I'm missing if I block you. But guess what? You were a dick to me, and if I block you, you're missing on all my shit that I have that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else. I'm one of one. There's nobody like me out there." And I'm not saying I'm so special or great or whatever, but I am unique. I have a unique life experience. I have unique relationships, and you're not going to find anywhere else. And my content is different. So I know my value. And so when they cry about that I blocked them, I just smile. I laugh my ass off. I said, yeah, you should have been a little nicer. You should have been a little more respectful. That's it. They're like, you're not going to get my views anymore. I don't care. Like, I don't need it. I got my 30 people that I like here. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, money isn't everything. That's the thing. I've done this before in my life. And you know what? When you don't worry about money like that, the money finds you anyways. Like it just, I've never had a problem with not finding the money. The money always comes to me. When Jess was complaining about my money that I was making, and JFK called me Making Money Mike. Not the first time I've been called the money man. You know, when I was at AIG, the Shriners Hospital employees call me. That's what they nickname me. The money man is here. Money man Mike. That's what they used to call me. Money man Mike. Because I work hard, you know? Yeah, that's the thing too. That's the thing. I know that too, Rose. Thank you for saying it. I know it. Rose said you are special and great. Your interviews are more like conversations because you take the time to put your guest at ease. And I try to let people talk. Sometimes you just got to shut up and let people talk. And sometimes people are like, "Oh, it's awkward, the awkward silence." It's like, you know what? That's when people know they can talk. Like, and when you have that uncomfortable silence too, it lets them go. They notice it. Money doesn't make you whole. No, it doesn't. It just, you know what money is? It's about freedom, really. That's all money is. It just gives you a little security, you know? I like this comment. Original Jola says many people mistakenly think boundaries are magical, that they make and maintain themselves. In fact, boundaries are promises we make with ourselves and articulate to others as needed. Yes. And that's the thing. Like one of my boundaries is if you're being insulting to me, and then I look at your social media and you bring no value to my life, I have no issue hitting that block button. You know, sometimes I will admit some people I blocked, I've been like, you know what, I'm kind of gonna miss them a little bit. I might miss some of their content. That's when it's harder. But a lot of these trolls, it is so easy to hit block because it's like when you look at their shit, you're like, they bring no value to my life. There's nothing they say or bring, there's no information that they're providing. Sometimes I'll hit that block button. There was one I recently hit on this guy, Kyle. I was like, yeah, he actually did bring a little value. But you know what? When you're a fucking asshole like that to people I like, and that's usually why I block people too. Usually it's not even about shit they say about me. Usually it's I see someone I really like and respect and they're bagging on them and they're being mean for no reason. And they think it's funny. And I say, you know what would be funny if I hit that block button? They get so mad. They like he blocks everybody. But then it's funny because they're riding for someone who's got me blocked. Like that's the funniest shit of all. There's that what's that guy's name? There's a guy on Twitter. He was going on and on about how he's trying to go after the lawyer and all this shit. And that guy cried so hard when I hit the block button on him. And then more recently I unblocked him and I looked and he had blocked me. Like what a It's so funny when they cry about blocking and they block me. It's funny. That's funny. He brings no value. All he does is he just regurgitates other people's content and then like, oh, he's such a simp. You know the simp guy I'm talking about? Yeah. I love Kevy Kev. Kevy Kev is the real freaking deal. I'm gonna imitate Kev. The imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I keep saying, I need to order it. I need that friggin' the little horn, the bozo horn, the clown horn. I love the clown show horn. That is like the funniest shit ever. The fucking clown horn. Yeah, that's it. Aiming for quality over quantity improves life a lot. All right, I've been saying I'm gonna go. I am gonna go now. It's time to go. I need a screaming goat. I need, you know what? I think I need one. Remember they used to have the keychains with all the sound effects? I think that's what I need. Some people like I have a studio system here, but I disconnected it because it didn't work half the time. But I think I need something like that. Just something like a simple little, nothing that's even attached to the system. It's just something you can, little studio thing. Heavy Cav is awesome. I enjoy the JFK show a lot. I do. I'm kind of jonesing. I haven't watched him in a while. I haven't been really watching anyone, except a little bit during the day. Like I watched Lana today. That was funny. Lana, it's fucking cracking me up. When she called him Errand Boy, that's the fucking funniest shit of all. Errand Boy. Okay, Errand Boy. Holy shit, she is vicious. I would not F with Lana. Oh, you want me to pull up, light a joint? See, I don't smoke weed in the house. I don't. I can't. We're in a building, right? There's 2 units in the building, and if I smoke, it will go through the ventilation. I did one time, and they smelled it, and they asked me, "Can you just smoke?" So I smoke outside. You want me to send you? I don't even know if Runkle's got a show right now. You know what I might do some night? Maybe I will do something outside on the deck. I'll do something outside, and we can smoke together. Maybe we'll do that some night. All right. I hope I go rewind and watch it on replay. I love all the replay. That's the other thing I see that's going with us too lately. Oh, he's covering Kelsey tonight. Cool. One of the best things I'm seeing on the channel right now too is we're getting a lot of replays. Like that's when I know the content is good. Is when a lot of times we'll go live and there's only 20, 30, 40 people watching. But then the next day, the numbers are still going up. I'm seeing that a lot on our YouTube videos, on our lives. So that feels good. That's when I know the content is good, is when people watching on the replays. So I love all you on the replay. I thank you so much for the replay crew. Thank you, LTL Media. I hope you had a good show tonight with Nan. LTL Media, make sure you subscribe to him as well. Brian is our guy. He's doing great work on Enrique Delgado Garcia. Make sure you check that out. Yeah, we love Brian. Give Brian some love in the chat if you can. All right, I'm going to head out. Have a good night, everyone. I'll see you soon. I'm not sure when, but tax day is coming next Wednesday. I'll be done with my taxes by then, definitely. And I'll be back just booking like crazy, like I usually do. I have a lot planned upcoming. Trust me. A lot of guests coming up that I want to get on the show again. Maybe Brian from LTL Media will come back on the show too. It's always good having him on here. All right, I'll see you all very soon, hopefully. Thank you so much. I want to thank the guests tonight. I want to thank Noel for coming on tonight and Richie. Let's go. I'll see you all soon. Peace out. Thank you so much. Thank you all on the replay as well.